This month, Streaming Things is brought to you by Chester Copperpot, Rabid Dog in a Barbie Car, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez, Thomas Alexander, Emmy, Valerie, Stanton Valentino, Aaron Layton, Crystal Trujillo, John Collins,
Ghost,
Andrew Gray, Jen Robinson, Kate, Chloe Richardson, Kalisha Reeves, Kiki Newton, Kevin Strother, Jeanette Murphy, Casey McCain, and Enza.
Harry Potter. Such an honor.
welcome back. My name is Chris.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, all three of us.
Yes.
He's Andy. He's there.
I'm here.
Accio Andy. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. And Gorgio. Or wait.
Oh, shit.
Reducto. Wait, no, that slices it off, right?
Cruciatus. Oh, shit.
No. Imperio. Take off your pants.
Reducto explodes that shit.
Yeah. I was like, my bad.
Kind of what we want. Engorge it and
I think
then
it's
explode it.
Reducio.
Yes.
Anyway, we got to work on that because if I do that wrong, I'm going to have a bad night.
Yeah, dude, for real.
After 4 hours.
I think Andy might
to
have
see
a worse
doctor.
night.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're talking about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, the 8th and final film in our coverage of Harry Potter, the whole Potterverse. We're not going to be delving into Fantastic Beasts or where to find them, at least anytime soon. I thank you all for joining on this Wizarding World journey. It's been fun.
I'm sad that it's over.
It's been fraught with missing hosts here and there, but it was a weird time. You know, at the end of Fight Club, Edward Norton says, "You met me at a very strange time in my life," and I think we can say that as a group to Harry Potter.
Where is my mind?
Yeah.
Well, much like the characters in Harry Potter, some of us dip out for books at a time, only
Yeah.
to show up at the very end.
Several hosts temporarily died off screen, which was who's tendency when writing the books. But yeah, thank you guys. This has been very fun. And through podcast magic, we're actually a couple of hours before we watch The Last of Us TV show, episode 2. But you won't hear this until Wednesday after you've heard our coverage of Last of Us. Isn't that neat?
Is magical.
Wasn't that a good episode of The Last of Us?
Oh, well,
I
what
hope.
was it? I loved it when they all held hands and sang.
Yeah.
Yes. Things took a turn for the positive. Very glad.
They're like, wait, guys, good news. There's more than just us.
Yeah.
This isn't the last. This is the beginning of us.
I've gotten so many DMs on Instagram and some emails where people like, I'm only watching The Last of Us because of your podcast and I want to follow along. Wow, that was a very sad episode, but it's a good show. And I hate to inform them, like, doesn't get happier.
Not at all.
It gets worse.
Per se.
It's,
there are
no.
moments of the sublime, mostly from Ellie, but yeah, it's all downhill from there. Unfortunately, from the first 20 minutes where you're destroyed, don't bother putting those tissues away. But yeah, I just finished watching Deathly Hallows earlier. We'll do what we always do. But first, we've got a new game that we do. We've got the Cards Against Potter, which is inappropriate and very in line with our brand. Steve found a card so dastardly he doesn't want to use that one.
That one's so vaguely Harry Potter that it almost doesn't make sense. I'll read it. It was blank likes the idea of getting fucked by the great squid. What?
That could have been anything.
The gray squid's in the lake on the grounds, man. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, I like this one better. So what we do, I'm going to read the black card. Chris, Annie, and myself have white cards. This is kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but it's Harry Potter themed.
Oh, I had such a good answer for that one.
For the squid?
too. Yeah.
What was
And then
it?
you've got the whole episode to choose your card, and we'll read them at the
I
end.
might still use it.
So the prompt that we have this week is Professor Trelawney found blank in my teacup.
Professor Trelawney found blank in my teacup.
Yeah, so stay tuned to the end of the episode to find out exactly what Professor Trelawney found in our teacups.
I'm not going to win this round.
Nor am I. Steve, you got this in the bag.
Do I?
I don't have anything like like inappropriately hilarious. I only have one that grammatically fits.
I had a great one
for the squid,
for that, but I'm using it for this.
Are you
one
using it?
also,
I was gonna say, dang. Well, remind us how it fit in with the squid when we play it at the end.
This one isn't what I'm going to choose, but it's because it would make no sense for this prompt. But it's a really funny card. It's Peter Pettigrew calling Severus Snape a fuckboy.
No, that makes sense. Like that's what
That would have been good.
That's what she found as the
prophecy,
future.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see that you're gonna call him a fuckboy, right?
nice one, James.
So yeah, Deathly Hallows Part 2, the end of our journey. Overall thoughts. What did you guys think? And does it change? I guess we could talk a little bit about like your overall ranking real quickly, like watching it again freshly. Because I know we talked about that briefly at the beginning of our coverage here. Steve, what did you think of Deathly Hallows Part 2? I saw you were none too pleased about Deathly Hallows Part 1. Mm-hmm. What do you think of 2?
You saw that I was unto please?
Yeah, I was there
almost
witnessing.
like you were here when I told you. No, Deathly Hallows Part 2 is a much better movie than Part 1, just because Part 1 isn't a full movie, right? Mm-hmm. So, and there's a lot of annoying things, for me at least, that happens in Part 1. This movie does a better job of kind of focusing on a lot of the interesting stuff that happens. There's a lot, it's a climax to a lot of these stories that have been told over the course of several movies. It has some really great stuff with Snape. It's got some really great stuff with Voldemort. There's a couple fun sequences. It's still it's not a perfect movie. I do feel like there is a lot left on the cutting room table that they could have, that would have made the movie better if they had like focused on other things and really kind of opened the scope of the movie and focus on more than just Harry Potter and Voldemort, right? Mm. But I understand it's a movie. You only have so much time. I also feel like of all the Harry Potter movies, strangely, I see the budget on screen with this movie in particular. And meaning like, I feel like some of the reasons why they don't focus on some characters is like, oh, we only got the woman who plays Tonks for a day. We can only shoot her in 2 shots. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We only have 3 sets. It's the staircase, and the staircase, but this one with rocks. And it's just weird to see like, this is the final Harry Potter. Why didn't they just throw every dollar Warner Brothers had to make it as big and huge and epic as it could have been? Because I mean, it is that, but I feel like it could have been
epicer,
even more, like even cooler, even better. But it wasn't. And so I still think it's a good movie. I still liked it. It's probably in the better half of films if I were to rank it. But I just there's a little frustration with this movie when I watch it.
What's your favorite? 4 or something wild?
Which one's 4?
Goblet of Fire.
No, it's not Goblet. It's probably maybe Oot-P.
Order of the Phoenix. Really? That's
Maybe?
one of everybody's least favorite typically.
Maybe. I don't know. They all bleed together. I'll be honest with you. They all kind of fucking run together. After the first 3, they run the fucking together to me.
Okay. Andy, you're back.
I am back.
The capital P in our Harry P.
I couldn't miss the final Harry Potter.
What'd you think?
What do I think? The last Harry Potter? It's amazing. It's so good. Are you kidding me? It's so good. I'm sorry to hear that Steve doesn't like Deathly Hallows Part 1. That is one of my favorites. We get Harry and Hermione dancing to Nick Cave. I mean, come on.
That is a highlight for sure.
That makes the movie, Stephen. No, this movie is fantastic. I think that it is a extremely difficult task to stick the landing for something like this. And I have my problems with it for sure. And like, especially like the final battle between Harry and Voldemort, like plays out way differently than it does in the books and kind of silly in a lot of ways, but it's still really, really, really good. And like, I'm a super fan, so it's hard to like quibble too much. I have things that bother me. Like you and I were talking about on the drive over here, McGonagall kicking out all the Slytherins. I hate that so much. I identify as a Slytherin, and I would be one of the people that would have stuck around.
Put the terrorists in the dungeon.
Yeah,
if I got a fucking chance, I would have been like,
complaining to him
you,
on the way
pansy,
here.
I wanted to help.
I was like, the one thing that makes no sense is that McGonagall puts the entirety of House Slytherin in the dungeons, a house that they've been trying to argue is a legitimate career path, and yet in that moment is no, you all suck. We all know it.
No wonder all of House Slytherin fights for Voldemort. Everyone else shits on him. And
There's
throws
like
him in the dungeon.
92 kindergartners that are like fucking sorting hat. This is bullshit.
Bullshit. They did the Cruciatus Curse practice on me this year?
Should have went to Durmstrong. I got in with a full scholarship.
So ranking them, though, you asked about that. 6 with a bullet, followed by 3, close second. Number 7 is actually my third favorite. And then 1. And
Wait,
then,
is 6 Half-Blood Prince?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's
a damn
that's
good
a really
movie.
good one. Maybe that one's my number 1.
Yes, it is the best one. And then number 1, number 5 now. 5 used to be lower, but rewatching it with you guys changed that for me. 5, 8, 4, 2.
Yeah, 2 and 4 are still my bottom, but I'm gonna swap 7 and 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna swap 3 and 6.
Okay.
3 is still my favorite because that's the one that feels like it's the most filmy and the least Harry Pottery, and not that I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but you know what I mean. Like there's some really impressive stuff in that movie, like screenplay wise and special effects wise, and my favorite scene in all of Harry Potter is the reveal of Peter Pettigrew. You have Gary Oldman and David Thewlis and Alan Rickman and those phenomenal children actors all playing off each other, and whoever the fuck that guy that's in 1,000 movies that plays Peter Pettigrew.
Timothy Spall.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
I just know that one and The Last Samurai.
And
But
Spencer.
anyway, I really like this movie. I think, like Steve said, 7 kind of gives you Dune Part 1 vibes, where it's like, and I told him, you weren't here for this, but I said, I honestly think, for me, because I'm a psychopath, if they had made a Snyder cut, like 4 hours and 12 minutes of Deathly Hallows, I think it would be a masterpiece of just a roller coaster ride. But because they, for very good reason, for 99% of the movie going public, split it into 2 movies like this, and they probably made an extra $300 million because of it.
For sure.
It just doesn't work as well for me because it's such a one-note movie where they're in the woods the whole time, and that plot line where Ron gets upset and feels like a third wheel had already been done before. Like Steve is bothered by it a lot more, but it had already been done before, but now it's like a more mature degree. Stuff like that kind of brings it down. But ultimately, they're all fun.
Yeah.
They're all super fun. And even this movie has a ton of issues. There are some CGI issues, like Steve was saying, like specifically in the Room of Requirement when they find the brooms and they rescue Draco and
the fire.
whoever replaced Crab. I don't know his name.
I have no idea.
The fire looks great. It's the moment where they snatch Draco and the other boy off the stack, and it's just so green screened, and it looks like early 2002 Harry Potter movies. But that's a small thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the story. It doesn't take me too far out.
Some of the CG in the final fight with Harry and Voldemort is pretty bad too.
Yeah, they just decided to take like green Avada Kedavra light is all of Voldemort's magic,
Yeah.
But there's some really cool stuff too. Specifically Snape, like Steve said, I love that stuff. And I got a few angry emails or passionate messages on Instagram from people like, don't defend Snape too much. He's a creepy incel that was obsessed with Lily his whole life and abuses children. Fair.
Yep.
However, I do think the way that he goes out, and once you find out all that he's really been doing for the past 7 years, I mean, completely sacrifices himself. Maybe it's a little unhealthy, psychopathic, you might say, his love for Lily. And if I hear somebody say Harry has his mother's eyes one more goddamn time, I mean, it is at least 6 times in the final film, and it's once or twice in every other movie.
Yeah.
The good news, Chris,
Every
is this is the
character.
last movie. So you will not hear it one last time.
Just even on the street, if somebody stops me,
Harry
did
has
you
his
notice
mother-
Harry had Lily's eyes? I'm going
Yes.
to, I don't know why you said that.
I love the scene when all of Harry's parents and mentors come back, and like the whole time his dad has the "I'm here too" energy, which
Yeah,
is so
just
fucking
standing
funny.
back there. Well, it's like Lily's the emotional focal point.
Yeah.
So I get it, but yeah, it is super. They even gave Remus a bunch of lines, and he's like,
Yeah. He's
Dad
like,
went,
you got this, bud.
"You made the team." He doesn't even know what's going on. What's he playing Quidditch? This is awesome. No, he's fighting Voldemort. Who? Yeah, you know who exactly. Could be a
Wait,
who's on first
is that the guy who
situation.
did the B&E at our house?
So anyway, we all like the movie. I'm really excited. I took thorough notes, and a lot of stuff was cracking me up. So hopefully this is a fun time for you guys. Let's dive right in because we got a lot of stuff to do before The Last of Us. So the movie opens with Snape looking sad in the window. overlooking a fascist-looking parade. I assume those are like Death Eaters and stuff that are
I think
charged with looking at the school, or is that how they're having the students march?
I thought they were
think
marching
those
the
are
kids in.
students.
Ugh,
Yeah.
not a good look, but unintentional. They've got all the Hogwarts kids goose stepping into the school, and then we get the title, and we fade back in on Dobby's grave. And
Dobby has a shallow grave.
I thought of Steve immediately. Steve famously, by the way, I went home after we recorded and I rewatched the last 25 minutes of part 1, and I wept like a baby. Like
It's a sad scene.
Dobby's death hit me.
Yeah.
And I just pictured you laughing maniacally while I was crying, because that's what Steve did the first time he saw that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you know what? Steve's kind of a piece of shit.
I'm the asshole in this story. Like I will own to my crime here. I laugh like a crazy person.
What about the second time? Like when we watched it
when
last week?
When I watch it now, I don't laugh because I know it's happening, and I'm like, man, this is really, really sad.
Yeah. But like objectively, you're not actually hit with it.
No.
Yeah.
I just the first time I was like, I was shocked it was happening. I was laughing because it was so fucking serious, and I hate that elf so much. So I was just kind of like, I don't understand. I'm on drugs. Remember when what we see? We went and saw a movie and the trailer for Lamb was playing, but I was drunk, so I was just laughing, like this is the best thing ever.
That was when you went Candyman.
Yeah. That was the energy
wish I
I
knew what we were
was
seeing.
laughing with.
We was Green Night.
It was Green. Yeah, it was Green
Steve
Knight.
was fucking wasted during
shit-faced
all
for
of Green Night.
And the trailer for Lamb was transcendent.
That was the high point for Steve.
But yeah, they give Dobby a shallow grave in sand.
They do. That's all they
gonna
can
wash
do.
away.
It's
That's one bad storm away from an elf body going into the sea.
It's hard times, my guy.
That's all they got.
But
I want to do it properly without magic. You're like, that's what you came up with.
should have used magic.
Use magic.
It's all right, guys. I did it on top of a hill.
I like
A dune.
I like to picture Hermione went behind him and used magic. But it says a free elf on his gravestone as well.
Yeah.
Harry's looking in the little mirror slice for Aberforth, who we'll eventually find out that's who that is. In the book, it really sets it up that he thinks, and the reader thinks, that Dumbledore's still alive because it has the same color eye. That doesn't come off in the movie really much at all, unfortunately.
Dude doesn't look a ton like Michael Gambon in this.
And then
He does look like a king beyond the wall, though.
He does.
Indeed.
He goes in to see Ron and Hermione. We see Luna, Bill, and Fleur. They're all hanging out inside there. And then Harry says, I need to talk to the goblin. And I immediately
Don't be racist, boy.
thought of it, Steve. I was rolling on my couch because that motherfucker is straight up the goblin.
I was trying to justify in my head why they wrote that line that way.
It's not good.
And like the only thing I can think is that it's for the viewer in some regard. So
Right.
they say like, I need to speak
said
to
Griphook.
Griphook. And they're like, who the fuck is that? And they're like, oh my God, it's a goblin.
He should
You
have
know?
just said, I need to talk to Work Davis. And everybody, or even more broadly, I need to talk to the guy that was in Willow.
Yeah.
And then everybody would have been like, which character though? Flitwick?
I need to talk to the surly character Warwick Davis plays.
I'm glad Andy's here because the whole Griphook thing, I need a lot of clarification on, but we'll get there momentarily.
Okay.
So he goes to talk with Griphook. He makes a really stupid pact that basically his hunch is that there's a Horcrux inside Bellatrix Lestrange's vault in Gringotts, and that he can, with the help of Griphook, break into the vault. Griphook's like, why the fuck would I do that? I got money, bruh. What you got for me? I got death sticks. You can't offer me drugs. I get whatever I want. In fact, I got all the goblin pussy you could offer me. What can you give me? And he's like, I want that.
Hooked on this life.
I want that sword, the sword of Godric Gryffindor, which is goblin made. And it's the only thing that they currently know that they have that can destroy Horcruxes. And yet Harry's like, deal. Ballsy, but it works out.
Bold move, Cotton.
Yeah. Because they still have, I think, 3 Horcruxes at this point that they know of.
Yeah, I like the energy that Warwick Davis brings into the scene. He really plays this character.
Oh, he does a fantastic job.
Just the way they film him kind of sitting there shrewdly, just kind of contemplating like, you're a very odd wizard. Like that type of thing is, it was really cool. It for some
Meaning
reason,
that he cares for Dobby, right? That's what Griphook's remarking upon, I think, as far as him being a strange wizard, because he seems to be kind of down to earth.
He seems to be down to earth. He cares about the elf. He
So he cares about non-human magical creatures.
Right. Harry Potter is the Keanu Reeves of wizards, right? Like when you meet him, you're like, You're a very strange celebrity. You are so nice.
There's like a whole thing about like goblins kind of being fighting for. There's goblin rebellions and stuff, and like there's a whole like
goblins hate wizards, right?
Yeah, there's a whole like
that was my question
nature between the two.
Grip Hook's a fucker.
Yeah,
and like all of the goblins seem to be fuckers, and I kind of forgot that history there about what's going on here. Because they're kind of villainous in this movie, all of them as a species, and I find it strange. That's mostly what my question was.
It's not villainous as much as it is like.
Well, they kill like 13 goblins while they're getting away, and the movie's tone is
so
like,
many people
who
in that
gives a
scene.
fuck?
Yeah.
Right,
and I was I was watching them tumble into the caverns, like they're literally just doing their job.
Yeah.
Like, did I miss something, or do we hate goblins? Is that why Harry's like that? And so anyway, so it turns out.
Real quick, interestingly, so he says, Harry says, like, I don't know if you knew this. And he was like, that I was the one that took you to your vault the first time when you came to Gringotts. And if you go back, it is Grip Hook that does that.
Yeah.
But his voice is so much different. He goes, lamp, please.
That's when he's happy.
Please.
That's happy times. It's like me sometimes on the pod. I'm like, welcome back.
See, Andy, you know how you have a customer service voice?
Yeah.
That was Grip Hook's I'm on the clock customer service voice. This is Grip Hook how he sounds in real life.
He gets off with, like, I need a beer.
Welcome to the falls. Where may I take you?
Oh, this day will never end.
Oh my fuck! There's so many Karens. And it turns out we find out that the sword that Bellatrix thinks is in the vault is fake, and it was put there by Severus Snape.
Why would Snape do that?
Question mark what? If you're a first time watcher. And then he wants the sword. So they make that deal. He goes to talk to Ollivander for a bit. We deviate and we see some John Hurt, and he looks at all the wands. He remembers every wand he's ever sold.
Give me more, John Hurt.
Hollandaise.
It took 7 more movies, but he's finally back, baby.
We got a little bit in 7.
Yeah, that's true.
In Visions.
Yeah, he showed up.
And
But just seeing him just sitting there with his wispy hair.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. There is to know.
I like this scene because I love John Hurt, but also when he's describing the wands, he gives adjectives that also apply to the people's personalities, like unyielding for Bellatrix, right? And surprisingly pliant for Draco, shit like that. This kind of like a little bitch wand. And,
It also has
4
dragon
inches.
heartstring, which is a fake thing.
It's not real, and we discovered that in the last episode. So they have Bellatrix's wand, they have Draco's wand. And then he says a curious thing. Ollivander says this was Draco's wand. It seems its allegiance has changed, which is either foreshadowing. It's connected to the Elder Wand that we find out later, right? But does it mean that this wand is no longer, or is it because Draco was in possession of the Elder Wand that he finds? Do you see what I'm saying with the difference there?
I get what you're saying, but it's the first. It's that he was disarmed. So
Okay.
then the wand's
So
like,
it's
oh, you're a little
foreshadowing.
bitch. I'm going with the guy that disarmed you.
Yeah, so Harry owns like 4 wands at this point.
Bro.
He's got to catch them all. He's a real wand master.
Pika.
But yeah, the wand chooses the wizard.
That's right. He's been saying that. He's like, I told you that in the first movie, Harry.
That's literally the tagline of my shop. Ollivander's the one who chooses the wizard.
Yeah, you really need to look at your receipts.
You come in here and they're like you.
By the way, there's a QR code on there. I can see that you've never filled it out. So it's just a survey, man. You're entered to win a free wand shimmy.
I'm
a
opening
ShamWow.
up an Etsy.
Like you see like little golf things that go. It's really brick and mortar stores are the old way.
Amazon really did a number on me. Everyone thinks it's
Did you see
Ollivander.
my shop? That was Jeff Bezos. I
know-
told everybody it was Voldemort.
He should not be named is really Jeff Bezos. He's doing terrible things for mom and pops.
Nocturne Alley used to be a really nice place.
Now it's just house elves doing coke.
Show me some free elf.
Tommy's hitting the raves and shit.
Light it up. I don't know why they're listening
was
to
one of my-
Freebird and Nocturne Alley, but that's what I picture.
That's one of my favorite like small details in part 1 is when Dobby shows up. He has some wicked trainers on, as Ron says. And I love that idea of Dobby. I'm into shoes now. I'm in the shoe culture.
Have you seen my Yeezys?
I just want everybody
Harry
to
Potter,
know
let me know when the new Jordans come out.
I'm embarrassed because the listeners are going to catch it and Steve's going to catch it.
You named the wrong song.
I sang Sweet Home Alabama and then
I was going to let it slide, man.
I just pictured Steve sitting in that chair going, Jesus Christ.
Edit.
Just as soon as I say it, your voice comes on Sweet Home Alabama. Ghost. Anyway, and then he asks John Hurt Ollivander about the Deathly Hallows, and he tries to lie for a second, and eventually the scene ends with Ollivander being like, you're fucked. You don't stand a chance. Because we find out we know Voldemort has the Elder Wand. We cut to more Polyjuice potion. They love that shit. Hermione might be addicted to the Polyjuice potion. You need me to whip up some juice? She turns into...
It tastes like goblin piss.
You want to hit this shit?
You want to hit this shit? She turns into Bellatrix, but Ron just like puts makeup on.
Yeah, he just looks like a Wish.com Rob Zombie.
He looks kind of cool. And for Rupert Grant, I was like, this is a better look. I like the goatee myself.
Ron really looks like one of the D-list extras that's in the background of Matrix movies.
He's got blonde dreads.
Not like this. But Hermione, her voice through Bellatrix is a really funny sequence of scenes, I think.
Yeah.
They go off to Gringotts and they put grip hook on Harry's back underneath the invisibility cloak. That's their plan. It goes awry immediately.
Grip hook wants uppies.
As soon as they land in Nocturne Alley, somebody's like, Bellatrix, because she's a legend in that part of town. And Hermione's like, good morning, which is really a good scene. Yeah. And they all look at her like, what the fuck? And the fact that she's
Bellatrix,
like,
not some dewy-eyed schoolgirl.
Dewy-eyed schoolgirl. He's right. I suck. And then
Poor Hermione, the whole movie is kind of like, well, yeah, I guess I do suck.
Well, I actually really like what they do with her character in this. There's only, I cried twice, and once was just Emma Watson's acting, her face, right? But I also like the turn that they have with her. Like Ron comes up with the good ideas at least twice, and that's a complete intentional subversion. And because throughout the whole series, she's stuck up, she's arrogant, she's a little, off-putting with the way that she is in some scenes, and the whole character arc for her is that she takes a step back, and I mean, she's always awesome, but you know what I mean? Like it's really interesting what they do. But she's struggling to walk in Bellatrix's heels, and I thought that
is such a good character.
I thought it was such a good touch, because that's not easy. I've tried it. And those things are wobbly.
They are.
Especially on like British cobblestones. Oh my goodness.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
And then basically the grip hook's like everybody knows that you're an imposter because she's still not acting at all like Bellatrix, right? And one thing I didn't understand is the whole tension of this scene is incumbent upon the fact that they're asking for Bellatrix to present her wand. And it's like, oh no. You have Bellatrix's wand. Why is that an issue? Give it to him.
They know that
The wand's a
Bellatrix's
snitch.
wand was stolen. So when they ask for the wand and they present it, then she's like, why would I do that? And then she gives it to him.
Yeah. I don't think she gives it to him, but it's like a frozen moment. Yeah.
But yes, anyway, point being, they know that the wand was stolen. And so like they're basically trying to catch her in the lie.
Interesting.
So why doesn't she say, my wand's been stolen, bruh?
They weren't thinking on their feet.
They don't know that they know.
See what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
You know?
Does the audience know that they know?
I didn't. Only thing.
I don't think that was conveyed to the movie audience. Is this
Chris
a book thing?
didn't know.
Well, I guess she knows her wand's missing. And so she's probably like put out the all call. That's like your wallet missing. You cancel your cards.
Yeah. Oh, do you call the bank? And
you call the bank.
You activate wand theft protection.
I mean, probably.
And she has to enter in a pin and like tell them what her mother's maiden name is.
You get put on hold for about 4 hours.
We told you not to make your pen 6969. I'm Bellatrix.
I thought it was funny.
I sound like Dobby, but I'm Bellatrix because I'm Chris.
I killed Dobby, so I became Dobby.
I'm listening to Harry Potter audiobooks right now, and Bellatrix, the voice actor Jim Dale that narrates it, uses a French accent for her, and it's because it's Lestrange.
Lestrange.
Is her name.
Lestrange.
She's like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, you come again.
It's the French orc.
Hello, it is me, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Lestrange.
Where is my wand?
It's missing. I got to go to the bank. Where's all my heels? Why do they have all those Bellatrix clothes? Anyway, All of a sudden, Harry uses the Imperious Curse on the head teller, which is who that was, poor guy. He barely makes more than the regular tellers from experience.
That dude's loving the Imperious Curse.
So here's what my question is, Andy.
Yes.
I know you don't have an answer. You're just going to be like, I agree with you, my friend. There's 3 unforgivable curses that they're taught, right? The Cruciatus Curse, the Imperious Curse, and the one that kills people, the Killing Curse. They're all equally unforgivable, right?
Correct.
So once you use an Imperious, because every now and then it's necessary. I'm with him. You got to get your hands dirty. Yeah. I'm begging you to just throw in Avada Kedavra at some of these Death Eaters and just end it, man. You know? Yeah. Can you please?
Well, so I mean, like, it's unforgivable in as far as like the law is concerned.
But you're like, it hurts your soul more to kill somebody.
Well, it literally tears your soul in half, as we learn through this story.
Yeah.
So,
can you get a gun then? Is that okay?
I think it's.
Can you imagine all the wizards are running toward Hogwarts at the end and Neville just pulls out a fucking Gatling gun? You've been pushing so many pencils, Death Eaters.
I think AR-15 at a high school is probably
not a good look. Not a good look. You're right. You're right. But no less than we expect from She Who Must Not Be Named. And anyway, they use I think his name is like Bob on the Knob. Balgrod. There it is. Balgrod is the teller's name.
Yeah. The guy who's really loving the Imperious Curse.
Yeah, he's like, I guess Harry's so nice that when he Imperious curses you, he puts a sense of euphoria in your brain as well.
That's fair.
So they take like the little, what are those called? Like mine carts, like Donkey Kong style down to the vaults. Really cool scene. And then all of a sudden they fall. And I guess
they go through the waterfall that eliminates curses.
Yeah, Griphook knew that that's what that was, which is why he put the brakes on. So it would be less detrimental, I suppose. So it takes away all enchantments. And so they lose the Polyjuice Potion. They lose the Imperious Curse temporarily, all that shit. It's called the Thief's Downfall. It washes away all enchantments. And then
does everybody who goes to that section of the bank have to get wet? Like they have to go through Splash Mountain?
Sounds like it, man. Yeah.
But I imagine there's a very quick dry spell that they don't use after this scene. It annoys me. They all like change clothes like a bunch of squibs. I'm like, come on, man. And they fall, and then they see a Ukrainian iron belly, a big dragon we never saw in the Goblet of Fire. I don't think that was not one of the ones that we saw. It's like an albino. Scary looking one. And there's a little bit of Pavlov's dragon going on. They've got like a little shaky bell, and they're used to shaking that bell and spanking the dragon, I guess. Spanking the dragon sounds like a wizard euphemism. That's
no, they're going to spank my bottom.
It's super sad. They torture the shit out of this thing and make it fear that sound.
And that's what I mean.
Keep it underground. And
this is where the moment where you're like, it villainizes the entire goblin species in this moment, because
or at least the bankers.
Yeah. Maybe there's some like blue collar goblins somewhere is what you're saying.
For sure.
Fuck bankers.
Do you like goblins, Steve?
Love goblins.
Goblinese. No, sorry. Had to throw it in there. How about dragons? Never mind.
Dragon nuts.
Across here. Yeah. So they go into the Bellatrix's vault, and somebody, I think it's Hermione, tries the old Accio Horcrux. Got to give it a good shot. Yeah. And I remember we said that Horcruxes have an enchantment that doesn't allow that to happen, but Griphook chimes in and says that it's a Gringotts feature that spell doesn't work, which could just be a movie thing. But Harry can feel that the Horcrux is in the vault somewhere, and then there's a Gimino curse that has also been enacted by Bellatrix. So every time they touch something, it multiplies that thing a bunch. Inside the vault, makes it more difficult.
That's how you get rich, baby.
For real.
I know. Right? It seems like a good feature.
Gimino, this $1 bill.
Go in.
Yeah, touching everything.
$1 bill.
I'm just saying, if
you fill that whole fucking vault, you got like $600.
Steve's not green.
I'm just saying, if you only have $1 in your name,
sure,
you can make that $1 a lot more very quickly.
Yeah, if you had a Gimino curse,
poke the shit out of it.
Maybe it's the kind of curse that's like, it goes away pretty shortly.
Oh, like after 15 minutes, it'll disappear.
Like Leprechaun Gold, which I think they left out of the movie. They did leave out of the movies. Anyway, that's a thing in the 4th book.
Leprechaun Gold multiplies?
It disappears.
Oh,
does the leprechaun go to the hood to get its gold back?
That's a good movie. We should review that next. Harry's climbing this infinitely multiplying pile of shit to get to what he can see. I guess he can just feel that that's the Horcrux. It's like a little cup, a grail, maybe, in fact.
Is that the Hufflepuff cup?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And we get a Griphook double cross. As soon as Harry slides down the mountain, somehow Griphook ends up with the cup. It's Hufflepuff's cup?
Yes, that's so
All of the
Horcruxes
relics became-
or except for there's not one for Gryffindor. So like there's
Because it's his sword. Is that
yeah,
thing?
there's a famous relic for all of the founders of the houses. So the locket, the cup,
Is the locket
diadem.
Slytherins? I forget.
Yes.
Salazar Slytherin. The Alliteration League.
Yeah, they do a Raiders of the Lost Ark where Griphook's like, give me the sword, I'll give you the idol. Like,
I didn't say I'd get you out. Yeah.
and then betrays him.
I didn't say I'd get you out of here. And he
And
leaves.
Harry just pulls a gun and shoots him.
Ba, ba, da, ba.
I love the comedy of the next moment where Balgrod dies because Ron is like, at least we still have Balgrod. Like he can get us out of here. And then he gets flamed
And
by
he's
the
all
dragon.
like happy.
Yeah.
still.
Hi. Looking all.
That poor dude.
What a cool dragon.
That poor guy. He was
Harry
just-
basically murdered that guy.
I want to see a short film that is just Bogrod waking up in the morning, making himself an omelet,
Getting ready
kissing
for
his
work.
wife and kids goodbye. He's just going to be a bank teller at work.
I'm 2 weeks from retirement.
And then he gets drugged by a couple teenagers and burned alive by a dragon.
Yeah. But if you use the Imperious Curse and walk somebody in front of a deadly dragon, it doesn't split your soul.
Yeah,
You just can't.
definitely not.
You just can't painlessly silence them with the Avada Kedavra because that is too bad for your feelings. I get it. But yeah, so Balgrod dies. He gets instantly melted. And Hermione starts chasing the dragon. She's out of Polyjuice Potion. Her plan to get out of there because all of a sudden the guards swarm.
Bogrod was also chasing a dragon. If you
And
know
there's
what I
like,
mean.
there's a bunch of like human wizard guards as well as several goblins. But once the dragon, they all ride the dragon out of there. And once it busts through like the railway, they all fall to their deaths. As I mentioned earlier, they're just killing all the guards and goblins and shit.
Well, they got magic. They can probably stop themselves from hitting the ground.
I don't think they do. They're tumbling pretty carelessly. It's just my head canon is that they splat and burst into a thousand
There were
pieces.
some Wilhelm screams in there. So
Was it actual?
no, but like we're
Yeah.
falling toward death.
Yeah, I'm not like super confident like Hermione is in the next scene.
I forgot my wand.
Oh no, Ollivander. The dragon erupts. I like the scene where it cuts to the lobby and it's kind of still and everybody's like all bureaucratic and about their
Oh, it's
business.
so good.
No music in this bank, which is the worst kind of bank. And like something, even some smooth jazz.
Dude, this scene walked so House of the Dragon could run. All
Very
I'm saying.
true. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra Targaryen comes right with them.
No, it's Rhaenys
Or Rhaenys, I'm sorry, Rhaenys Targaryen.
busting up through. The dragon erupts through the still lobby and then climbs out. And I like how it's like struggling to fly because it hasn't flown in decades,
I love how it-
conceivably.
It sees the sun or the outside
It
world for the
pauses.
first time, and
Oh.
it just kind of takes in because that presumably is like the first time it's been up there since it's
Yeah.
been like a little hatchling dragon before it was trained, you know?
Yeah.
And then Hermione was like, "Fuck that, go!"
What if she pulled out a bell? I get it now. And then he flies away. Eventually they jump in the water and Hermione slows their descent. Harry gets a vision of the Horcruxes.
Slowed their descent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
talking
She
about.
was handy
Oh,
with it,
okay.
but
Gotcha,
I felt like they were panicking. She's cool and
That's fair.
collected.
That's fair.
She's
She
Hermione
wouldn't go
Granger.
cool.
Yeah. And Harry gets a vision of the Horcruxes and Voldemort. And then I wrote the question, don't they have a dry clothes spell? Because they're standing in a circle. The guys are disrobing. She literally just takes the cloak off and puts another one on her wet clothes. And it's like, that's not effective. And that's what made me think like dryo, in her world.
I do love that scene because they really make a meal of the guys. Like, I got my shirt off, got my other shirt off, I got my other shirt under that off. I'm taking my pants off now, and Hermione's like, sure. I'll just freeze.
Yeah. Because there's no dry spell.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
She would know it.
There is
100%.
in the books, but it's fine. It's fine. Well, we
Why don't she just
needed
pull out
to
a hair
see
dryer?
Daniel Radcliffe's abs, which dude's kind of ripped for being a little scrawny guy. You know,
Hey, you know what's better than one pale kid? Two pale kids.
two pale British kids.
One of them's got red hair.
This is mental. Anywhoozle, we cut back to a scene I don't understand and need Andy's help. Is this Voldemort at Gringotts? Because when he got alerted to the Horcrux being destroyed, he ran to check on it. And that's where he killed all of the goblins.
Yeah,
Because
so
we cut to a sea of dead bodies and a dead grip hook with the sword.
it was basically a temper tantrum. He realized that the Horcrux had been stolen up to this point. He didn't know.
Yeah.
Now he knows that Harry and company know about the Horcruxes, and they're trying to destroy them.
Right.
So now he's going to go check on his other ones and
Yeah.
make sure that they're okay and stuff. But yeah, he's basically like the one and only thing that can be his downfall. Now my enemies know about it. And so he loses his shit and just murders everybody.
Because all we see is a dead. It lingers on grip hook. So he got his comeuppance rather quickly.
Yeah.
Nobody was
The
interested
sword
in the sword of
disappears.
Gryffindor, though. It just
disappears.
It does disappear, but like prior to that, somebody could have grabbed it. But
It's pretty dope.
It's loyalty. Yeah. Huh. Well, I mean, like Voldemort knows what that is for sure.
Yeah.
I could have made that a Horcrux too.
Oh, shit. That's the last one.
I just killed so many people. Oh, just kidding. They were goblins. LOL.
That would only make an eighth of a Horcrux. Am I right, boys?
Up top.
He does try to have some zingers in this movie, and I love it. Especially that time when he thinks Harry's dead, and he gives that little.
Again, I want to see way more Voldemort just shooting the shit.
Me too.
Being a rascal. You know?
This is when he starts talking to Nagini, and he says, I got to keep you close, little Snaky, because honestly, my life's in there too. I don't care about you. I want you to be the snake who lived.
Remember when you were a person? Now you're just my pet.
Pretty cool.
Did you see the Fantastic Beasts where they reveal that?
No, I just went along with it.
No, yeah, that's a thing.
Nagini is a person and that had some kind of blood curse that turns her into a snake for.
And Nagini is her name back then as a person, even though Nagini is root for like snake, like Nog.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, this is
I
the
didn't know
world
that.
where there's
That's
a
cool, though.
person named Remus Lupin who somehow became a werewolf.
I follow. I follow Steve.
That was one of those. So we didn't talk about this, but when it was revealed that Remus Lupin was the werewolf in the book, I remember reading that as a kid going, oh, what? He was the werewolf? But like now that I'm smarter and know what those words mean, it's like, how do you not telegraph that so hard?
I mean, they're children's
I was such
books.
a dumb kid.
And I honestly like that was one of the things that made me love the book. I was like, how smart is that name? You know,
Dude, that is not my favorite book, but probably the best as far as like, let's elevate the story and like, you know, it's enough that like he's the werewolf, but also to like throw in all the time travel shit and then like to have the twist that Sirius was actually his godfather and was like looking
that
out
stuff.
for him and stuff.
I love it.
Fuck that book.
Scabbards is a man.
Yes.
yeah, that's the first huge. Oh my god, you start to overthink it. Like
So much
just
is
sleeping
going
with
on
Ron
in that
for
book.
years.
Who else is a person? Is Hedwig a person?
Yeah, for real.
Mrs. Norris, most likely.
Mrs. Norris is actually a lady?
That's why I love Mrs. Norris. She used to be my teacher.
Everyone thought this was my cat. I actually did marry her. She became a real cat, though.
she's a real tomcat in the bed, if you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Not like literally. Why'd you do the Meow Mix theme song out of nowhere?
That's how Mrs. Norris sounds.
Meow, 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 meow.
I love it when you sing to me.
You have such a lovely voice.
So all of a sudden, alarms start going off in Hogsmeade as soon as they apparate to their size. There's some kind of a security system there. The Death Eaters scramble. Aberforth
Bring
smuggles them.
security, Harry Potter edition.
Yeah.
Is the
Aberforth.
chosen one apparating into your village? Be the first one to know.
Only $14.99 a month.
Yeah. Make sure to charge it.
Our specialist will notify you immediately if someone breaks the code.
I like to picture ADT calling them. And is this a false alarm, or do you actually have a Harry Potter there?
Hello, this is ADT. What is Harry Potter actually there?
We're going to need your security code.
No, I'm sorry.
6969
Disarm
again.
it.
Sorry, ADT. It's me. I just put on a pair of glasses and it mistook me for Harry Potter. That's all right. It happens all the time. I'll tell the police not to come.
That'll be $200 for a false alarm. That's what they do if they dispatch emergency services.
Really?
Yeah, it costs you a bunch of money. If like your house alarm goes off and like the cops and ambulance show up and stuff, it costs a lot of money.
Does it happen for Ring too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ring doesn't send cops to your house, does it?
Yeah, they do.
Really? Well, I know when I
If you
worked,
pay
when I
for
managed the
that.
restaurant, somebody pulled the fire alarm and we had to pay hundreds of dollars because the fire department showed up.
Dang.
They don't save the city for free, bruh. Unless you got a coupon.
They gotta make money.
Aberforth smuggles all the kids into his house. That's where we meet him. That he's the guy through the mirror, and he got the mirror from Mundungus Fletcher.
Sir, you look like Mance Rayner.
That was I don't know why. That was a benefit, and that's where Hermione sees the other side of the glass, all that stuff. We get the giant reveal. That's Dumbledore's brother, which is awkward because they call him Dumbledore, but Aberforth's name is also Dumbledore. Yeah. It'd be like meeting your brother and being like, oh, wow, you're May's brother? And he'd be like, well, I'm also
He's my brother.
And he kind of fucking hates Albus, right?
Yep.
A little bit of shit talking there. We don't get much of this backstory. I think we do in the books. I don't remember much of it.
Time.
Ariana is Albus's sister.
Both of their sisters.
Right, and Aberforth. Sorry, Aberforth. And she was
Everyone doesn't talk about Aberforth.
She was very beholden to Albus, and he got her killed somehow.
So it's implied that she was molested in some way by Muggles, and that's why Dumbledore, Albus's dad, goes to jail. Is because he attacked Muggles and attacked
and
a bunch
vengeance
of
style?
Muggles in vengeance, yes. So she becomes what we learn in Fantastic Beasts is an obscurious, which is to say somebody that's hiding their magic in and ashamed of it, and it forces itself out violently and stuff. So the Dumbledore family does not send her to school and stuff because she's fragile, and so she stay at home. Dumbledore was supposed to go on a Euro trip with Grindelwald and had to cancel it to take care of Ariana after his mother died. So Grindelwald stays back as well. They're developing their plans to take over the world basically, and they get into some argument about something. There's a big fight that breaks out between Grindelwald, Dumbledore, and Aberforth. And somehow in that fight, Ariana gets killed. And nobody knows who actually killed her, but she dies. And so Aberforth never forgave Albus for that.
Interesting. Cool backstory for Albus.
You were pumping your fist at the obscurious part.
Oh, yeah, because I was guessing that's what was happening in the last movie when we did the coverage, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, you mentioned the Obscurial,
So I
I
was
think.
like,
Is it Obscurial or Obscurious?
Right.
I can't remember.
It's obscure for sure.
It's very obscurious.
Off the show.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
GTFO, Steve. But yeah, so there's a sad backstory to Albus, and Aberforth is a little bit not unimpressed with the way Dumbledore is, right? But Harry defends him. And then he looks at his sister and says, you know what to do. She backs out of the frame, comes back with Neville.
Yeah.
So dope.
They created a tunnel. All the other secret tunnels have been closed in, so they've recently made this tunnel. And Aberforth, we learned quickly, has been sneaking in food to the kids, smuggling some of them out. So they've got this little network to help out the students there. They introduced the Carrows. I don't know if we ever actually recognizably see, but it's the brother and sister
They get killed in the background when Snape is attacked by McGonagall.
They don't make it much of a thing other than this conversation, I don't think, though.
Yeah.
And it's a little comical to me. I don't remember if the book was like this or not, but this is when Neville's it's so bad at the school that it's I wish it was more like the First Order, where it's they're trying to actually build a society that they think is correct. Whereas in Harry Potter world, it's they had us doing the Cruciatus Curse on first years. And it's oh, Jesus Christ. That is, who does that?
They torture us for breakfast.
I said no, so they punched me. You know what I mean? It's comically bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Labyrinth or something. It's just like Goblin World or something. But so Hogwarts has changed.
I would have loved to have seen a whole other movie where it's just Neville leading the resistance at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Like the Andor spinoff, but with Neville.
They're digging a tunnel to get to Aberforth so they can do this. And then
They didn't. So that rumor requirement made the tunnel for them.
Oh, really?
Well,
because they required a tunnel.
It, yeah.
That place is fire. If you're meeting up with a lady friend, you're taking her to the room of requirement.
are they in the room of requirement? Is that where the tunnel leads to? Okay. That's what I thought.
After book 5, everything is there.
I couldn't. Yeah, it 100% is. Oh my god! But I couldn't tell.
She was like, you know what? I require plot.
I couldn't tell if they were in the room of requirement or if Snape was like, Gryffindor gets to live in the basement. You're gonna have to have knapsacks and sleep in those.
Because when I lose, they're gonna shit on Slytherin. So
actually, you know what? 50 points deducted from Gryffindor just because.
Oh, can you imagine the point system under the fascist regime?
Oh God, it's
bonkers.
Fucked. It's fucked.
Bonkers.
Which of you have Muggle parents?
Negative $1 billion.
Oh, they're dead now. Negative 50 points for each of you.
Minus 100 points for not being able to save your mother. Am I right? Nobody to high five.
Loser.
Loser. So yeah, we don't see the Caros. They die off screen later on. That's a theme with this story. And then Hogwarts has changed. They all clap for Harry. I thought of Steve when this scene happened because he comes in triumphant. He's done nothing yet. He comes in, he just walks in. Yay, Harry!
It's the chosen one.
Gryffindor common room is all jacked up. They've got hammocks and stuff instead of their cool beds. I don't know what
I
happened
thought that
to
was the room
beds.
of requirement.
I guess it is.
It is. Really
Okay.
fun.
In my head, I was like, the common room went way downhill.
That's what I was saying.
What happened to the beds?
It looks so cool. They got like pillow forts and shit.
We had to
What are you
break
guys
up the
complaining
beds to make the tunnel.
Where do the kids go at night? It's not their dorm.
I can imagine Filch is losing his goddamn mind.
Children out of bed.
You blithering idiot. Something we need to find. So Harry tells him there's something we need to find in the castle. I don't know where it is, and I don't know what it is. And everybody kind of gets crestfallen, which is a good moment. Like, okay.
I love
Seamus-
Somebody
I love
says
Seamus.
that's
Yeah.
not a lot to go on, and somebody says there's nothing to go on.
Yeah.
So good.
Seamus is a huge part of that. He's hilarious. And then Luna comes up in clutch. It's Rowena. What about Rowena Ravenclaw's lost diadem? And everybody scoffs at her because that's like a legendary mythic artifact they couldn't possibly find. It probably doesn't exist. And
Well,
then,
he said it had something to do with one of the founders of the
True.
school. So she
True.
had that much to go
because he'd already destroyed
Well, I think
Salazar's locket
He specifically said Ravenclaw.
and the Hufflepuff
Oh, yeah,
cup.
he did say it had something to do with Ravenclaw.
Because that's the only person
he-
left.
Yeah, he sees Ravenclaw. He sees her in a vision, and then the seal of Ravenclaw. With that vision, when they go into the water,
True.
there's like two frames of that.
Good call, Steve. Jenny rolls up. I'm here as well, as always. That's her only line ever. And
Oh my god, this made me laugh so fucking hard because Jenny shows up and she's like, Harry, and Harry just looks at her, and then Ron's like, man, why doesn't she care about me? I'm her brother, and it's like, that was the least. Oh my god, I'm happy to see you ever put to film.
yeah. I actually like the line, though. I think it's Seamus. Where he's offended that I'm her brother. And I think Seamus says, but she's got lots of those, only one Harry.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was like, nice. That's true. 'Cause that's how it
Seamus
is.
needs to be in every scene, just like sneaking in little Andy jokes
Just
like that. Where
drunk.
you don't hear him in the moment, but when you listen back, you're like, oh man, Andy coming in with those fire jokes.
He's always drunk. Wow. And blowing shit up. Seamus is funny.
Huge Bengals fan.
And yeah. So
Guys, I'm when he learned how to make rum, his next thing was making jungle juice.
yeah. He likes to party. Then we cut to Snape's speech. And he's basically, this whole speech is no one help Potter or else.
Oh, real quick, I just want to say, right before we get to Snape's speech, we get the staircase set for the first time.
Oh, for the first of
we got
many.
a count going.
I kept count.
Sweet.
During Snape's speech, we get a small snippet. We see Slughorn. I think one of only like 3 little shots of
Yeah, we get little pieces of him. He's still
Slughorn. He's a great character. That's why
there. Jim Broadbent's expensive.
Love him.
he is a treasure, a national treasure, but not of this nation, unfortunately.
Boo.
None of these actors are.
I
It's
claim
Harry
it.
Potter. Harry steps forward in the middle of all this. I didn't expect that, and I've seen the movie twice and read the books a bunch. He's like, I'm here. Actually,
Shit.
How dare you stand where he stood?
so this scene is like really
didn't
effective
stand
and also ridiculous at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense. Let's all be honest about it. Can we all be honest about this? They've been under this thumb for a year, miserable, torturing kids, getting punched in the face. The catalyst for them just easily getting rid of all of that is nothing. Harry's like, I'm here. And they're like, ha, get out of here, Death Eaters and Snape. And
Look, Oot P's here too.
yeah, I just don't, it didn't make any sense to me that it's like, you could have done that the whole time, McGonagall. What about the kids?
Think of the children.
Yeah, you should have.
No, well, she was keeping her head down, trying to protect the kids as much as she could. I told you guys before, like rereading the books as an adult, she's my favorite character, and
She's a boss.
100% is keeping her head down. She needs to put up with as much as she can to still be there to take care of them as much as she is able to.
Well, we find out her main focus is to be able to use the spell that wakes the statues.
I love that. It's so funny.
That's what she's biding her time. Like, I can't get kicked out because then who's going to wake the statues? I won't get to see them. But yeah, so Harry steps forward. He thinks Snape is his arch nemesis still at this point. McGonagall moves to defend Harry. And then Snape gets basically defeated by McGonagall, but
Oh yeah.
not really trying, of course, because he's on her side, unbeknownst to anyone. Poor Snape. I know he's a piece of shit, but also like
he acts that scene really well. Just like when Harry's like, "How dare you stand where he stood?" You know,
Yeah,
you
he's
kinda
like
see him
hurt.
like he's like,
Yeah. I love when McGonagall steps in front of Harry and you see Snape like lower his wand for a second, like, oh no.
yeah.
You called mommy.
I'm not going to do, I'm not willing to do this. I don't understand. I know it's a cool visualization, but why, when all the evil people disapparate, they have that awesome, like 80-foot black trail, you know, it doesn't happen when the good people, it makes no sense. Like,
I don't know. Just so
the
you know,
good
that's
people
a bad
just have
guy.
a
it's
weird,
really
like,
cool
squiggle.
visually, but I just need to know
I
lore wise.
also think that Snape intentionally deflects the shots at the Carrows.
Yeah.
When he's fighting McGonagall.
I didn't notice that they got hit.
Yeah, each one, like he knocks one way and then the other,
'Cause Snape-
and then bounces.
He's a beast.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He is.
like as far as spell,
Like as far
work
as
and
battle
stuff.
work
Yeah.
goes, he's a G. I want to. Yeah, dang. I wish I would have wrote this movie.
I know.
I would have. A lot more cool stuff would have happened. Sorry, guys, they didn't call me.
Harry and his best friend Chris.
The way you said that, I don't know why. I just imagined Snape deflecting the bolt, and as he flies away, he just goes, "Meant to do that."
Fuck you.
Fuck the Carrows.
Always hated your family because I imagine he's got history with them. But anyway, then after all that, we get a girl starts screaming, and Voldemort basically has a podcast, and he starts broadcasting it in all of their heads, and they hate this episode. They hate this podcast.
Welcome to Voldemort's Voice, where I talk about everything that's going on in Voldemort's world. This week we're sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh. I do HelloFresh. They send me a box every week.
I don't have to worry about buying too many ingredients and having to throw them away.
HelloFresh.com/he who must be fed.
So basically, he's broadcasting that you guys are all going to die. Don't fight. Give me Harry. All the normal bullet points that he's always about. And then Pansy is an asshole. She's like, let's give up Harry Potter
Get
to
him.
Voldemort. Filch comes running in.
He's right there.
Yeah. And everybody's like, we know. She just put her glasses on. Holy shit, that's Harry. I didn't know. And now I'm way caught up on everything
I
that
was
just happened.
so confused.
He has his mother's eyes. I didn't know it was him.
And this is where McGonagall, there's a cool visualization of everybody surrounding Harry to protect him. But then this is where McGonagall banishes all of House Slytherin to the dungeons, which doesn't make any sense because there's some good people in the house or else it wouldn't be a house in the school. Yep. Why would you have it?
The stakes she says it with too is so funny. She's like, "Oh, I think the dungeons will do."
Yeah. The
you little
shitty ones.
shits.
Where the troll was?
I mean, that's sort of my thing is punishing these children, but even I'm a little.
Filch comes running. There's children out of bed. And she said, they're supposed to be out of bed, you blithering idiot.
Well, that's my time off. I was hanging out with Mrs. Norris. I didn't know there was an assembly. I wish you would email me these things.
And Maggie Smith stank is like, that's extra hurtful. You don't want her to admonish you ever.
Maggie Smith is the queen of throwing shade.
I forget
all right?
which actor it was. Oh, it was Ian McKellen told this lovely story. I saw the video the other day where he was nominated for an Oscar, I guess, for Gandalf. And Maggie Smith was present at the pre-party. And he had some sort of superstitious locket of some kind or something, a crystal, and she's like, what is that for? And he's like, it's I can't do a Gandalf voice on the fly without being prompted by him, but he's like, it's for good luck. And he goes in, loses, and then apparently Maggie briefly walked by him at the after party and said, didn't work, did it? And that's all she said. And that coming from Maggie Smith, that hurt.
Oh, man. That keeps him up at night still.
Yeah. Ian McKellen cried. She wasn't even nominated and she just wanted to shit on him.
I love her so much.
She's awesome.
She's the best.
So they take Slytherin to the dungeons. We cut to Ron and Hermione. They decide to have a plan to go get a basilisk.
Chris, where's this at?
fang.
Where's this at?
On the stairway. Well,
Two.
a different stairway. To be fair.
No, this is the same fucking set.
Two.
This too.
And Harry decides that he's got to go solo somewhere too, but they're going to go get a basilisk fang, right? And this is Ron's idea. And it's noted that it was Ron's idea, which was brilliant because Hermione is being more humble now. Harry gives them the Marauders map so you can find him afterward. And then
Luna tells him, and this is where Luna tells him where to.
Well, first McGonagall gives Seamus.
I love it's good to see you, Potter. That's so good.
Yeah. But first, McGonagall gives Seamus permission to blow something up, which we later find out is the bridge. We briefly see Molly Weasley, which is cool.
Was Molly there with the order?
Yes. All the order.
Like Kingsley shows up, all that. As soon as the Hogwarts is liberated.
This is another thing, and you might disagree with me, Andy. This might be a book thing that I just am not aware of. This is another sort of very small instance of like, oh, they couldn't afford to have all these actors at the same time because I don't understand. Like the visualization of Molly Weasley being there with Flitwick and McGonagall doesn't really make sense to me. Like it would make sense more if like there was a Trelawney or a Slughorn or what's the
well, we see Trelawney and Slughorn. Well,
Later.
Slughorn momentarily, because Slughorn, Molly, and McGonagall and Flitwick are the ones with the protective spells.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. It was a
Protego
strange
Maxima
visually like oh, we
Fiantaduli.
need a third. Oh, Molly's here.
Sure, it did. Honestly, I think there's a couple scenes cut out of the order landing in there because you just see Harry's like, and I brought friends, and it's Kingsley standing there.
There's Kingsley Shacklebolt and Arthur.
Yeah, and
Which
Snape's like, oh, scary.
I do real quick. I want to do a sideline. Arthur Weasley. Okay. Something clicked with me for him this movie. Like when he's like holding his wand out threateningly at some Death Eaters at certain points.
Yeah.
Dude is the quintessential dad bod, right? Can we normalize dad bods being badasses on cinema? Because every time he showed up, like, fucking get him, Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's us.
He raised several kids and he's going to fuck you up.
He's a muggle nerd. Like
raised several kids and he's gonna fuck you up.
He's a daddy at home and he's going to be a daddy on the streets.
That's
all
right.
right.
That's right.
Big dick daddy.
And he survives. He's got big wand energy.
He does have big one energy.
He is a bad motherfucker up there, dude.
He handles business. This is the scene where McGonagall animates the statues, which is like its own spell that it's like a Hogwarts defense that she's always wanted to activate.
Totem locum mortem?
Yeah, oh, nice. And I caught a couple of the defense spells, Protego Maxima and Fiantaduli. And there's a third one I couldn't write down. But they're basically putting a giant shield over Hogwarts that they know is temporary. They're just trying to buy Harry time. Harry tries to ignore Luna because she's chasing him up the steps because he's looking for the Horcrux, right? And she's like, God damn it, Harry.
Dude, I love that.
I know I'm batshit, but I know things. Yeah.
You listen to Luna, sir.
You listen to me right now. I looked her up on IMDb. What's her name? Ivana Lynch. She's Irish, I think. Hasn't really done much other than that wasn't the point of the story that she was Irish. Sorry. I lagged there. I was trying to see what else she was in because she's so good in this movie. I was literally going to watch like whatever movie I could afterward. There's a few things, but it's not as much as you would expect.
I know that she's like some ambassador for something and she was on Dancing with the Stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's one of the only ones where I'm like, that's actually, at least to me, a star.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know?
It's Luna Lovegood. I'm watching that. And she tells him we need to talk to someone who is dead.
It's Sean Spencer.
I love the way her brain works. Just the fact that she's like, you're trying to find someone who's alive. We need to talk to someone who's dead. Or no one alive knows where it is. So we need to talk to someone who's dead. And so they go to find the ghost of.
That's the Ravenclaw in her.
That's right. She's
clever.
Smart.
You know, they don't have a password to get into the Ravenclaw.
It's a riddle, right?
It's a riddle every time.
Do you know there's like one stoned Ravenclaw guy that sleeps in the hallway often? I think the Sorting Hat did this in my defense. I didn't choose this. The Ravenclaw life chose me. But it's Helena Ravenclaw, the daughter of Rowena Ravenclaw. And we cut back and forth. Voldemort's out there like, they never learn. As soon as they start defending themselves, because he, advised them they have 1 hour to turn over Harry. Looks like they're not going to do that. Very confidently. Not a good move, hog dorks.
They're doing the Gungan defense.
Exactly, it is.
Put up a big bubble.
It's going to go bomb bad for them. 6 people got that joke, including Steve, and I love him. And then he says, begin. And there's like this like loosing of the arrows vibe. Like it's this very
cool.
much like Helm's Deep thing that they added.
It was cool.
For no real reason, but visually it's super awesome.
100%.
Love it.
I love how quiet it is. Like you said, it's like a
Yeah,
loosing
dude.
of arrows. It's so quiet, but when it hits the force field, it's like a bunch of explosions.
It's the quiet before the storm, baby.
It was cool.
And look to the east on the 7th day of the... Wait, wrong movie. And we cut back to Helena and Potter. They're having a... What'd she say you remind me of? Oh, she says you remind me of him, which I took note of because she's talking about Voldemort. Because Tom Riddle, as a young man, tricked her into giving him the diadem. And she's like, you remind me of him. And I thought that was an entry. You know, we get a lot of Voldemort, Harry duality in this movie, especially throughout the whole series. But in this movie, they hammer it home. And then she says, when she finally tells him where it is, she's a Ravenclaw, so it's a riddle. And I really like this riddle. It's well written. It's the place where everything is hidden. If you have to ask, you'll never know. If you know, you need only ask. And he's like, room of requirement. Of course it is. Why didn't the room of requirement just throw the diadem at him a long time ago? Because he's long since required it.
Yeah.
It's overworked, man. The room of requirement is overworked and underpaid.
Didn't you say in like the 4th movie, whenever we first see this room, that the diadem is visible somewhere? Just chilling? I thought you said that. I could have made that up. That'd be really cool if that's true.
It is. Well, it's in the book. It's definitely visible. When Harry's hiding, I think it's when Harry's hiding the Half-Blood Prince's
Yes,
book.
in book 6.
He puts a little head, like a little model head on it.
Like a
and
bust?
Puts a bust head, sure. And then a diadem on top of that, and that is the diadem.
Nice.
But yeah, you also see like the locket in like the 5th book or something.
Really?
Before, yeah.
Fucking
cool.
Easter eggs, baby. Foreshadowing. And then, so he runs off to the room of requirement in that moment because he's a good solver of riddles. We cut to Kingsley and Remus. You know, basically everybody's prepping for the war. You know, we got this side covered. Actually, we might need a few extra hands. We see Dean very briefly. And this whole movie...
I'm here too.
It's just like a nostalgic through memory lane. That's why the whole battle takes place at Hogwarts of all places. They just want to take you back there. We see Fred and George.
It always had to take place at Hogwarts.
For sure.
They should have never left. We see Ron. I hated that Ron knows parcel tongue from Harry sleep talking. Because it's not
I thought
like
it was funny.
it's not a word. Yeah, but it's not a funny moment. You know, this is like we're getting to the climax and we cut down. I'm like, oh, the Chamber of Secrets door. That's awesome. I totally forgot that you had to know parcel tongue to get it open. I would have preferred like again, this is Ron has 3 huge moments that are typically given to Hermione. But this is too much, you know, like it's a tongue so shocking when a wizard speaks it that everybody backs up because the only 2 known people that have ever spoke it are Voldemort and Salazar Slytherin, both terrible people. And then all of a sudden Ron's like, he talks in his sleep and it's like, no, you can't do that.
I like the idea of Ron really just did some nonsense. He's like, oh shit, it works. No way.
Yeah, I'm supposed to spell the alphabet with my tongue.
Why wouldn't they unchain? Like they know where the Chamber of Secrets are now. Presumably, it's been found.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
Why wouldn't they just keep that door open?
Who closed that door?
Chamber of known things.
That's what I was thinking. Who closed the door?
Yeah.
Like
Chamber of our new storage closet.
when Ginny left, she was like, fuck. They're going to be so mad.
Harry, can you ask the door to open, please?
I'm still here.
Hello.
No one cleaned the corpse of the basilisk either. I love
Thank
that.
goodness.
Just let it rot there.
Thank goodness they didn't. They really needed those. Those came in clutch. And where am I at here? My notes here. So we cut back to, he opens the door. Oh, we did see the Quidditch field on fire right after the parcel tongue, which is super cool. Like that made me sad because we get so many happy memories on the Quidditch field where only Gryffindor and Slytherin ever played.
We also saw the staircase set again for a 3rd time.
All right, Steve, thanks for keeping track. This is our new will call.
Yep.
Ron grabs a fang out of the mouth. I love this for no reason. It looks really cowardly of him. I know that's not how they meant it, but what he does is he grabs a basilisk fang and he has the Hufflepuff cup and he looks at Hermione and goes, you do it. And like the way I read the scene is he has no idea what's going to happen. It's not safe. You do it. You know what I mean? And like, I think it's supposed to be like you deserve the moment, but how it comes off is, I think it'd be better if you did it.
Last time I did this, I saw some things.
Yeah.
I prefer you did not see them. I
So
have a terrible secret and insecurity.
I think this is the only time where like a Horcrux vengeance happens, and it's kind of strange. Like when they kill the cup, the chamber floods, and they have to run, and they narrowly escape.
Yeah.
Where every other time it's just like shoot.
Well, the diadem and the fiend fire also like shoots a bunch of shit at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of toss the diadem into the fire, right? Like after killing it, it does shoot a little bit. Yeah, it's got the scary Voldemort face. I like that a lot. Pretty cool. By the way, we'll get there in a second.
And then they kiss.
Yes. So they get wet and make out was my note.
Gross.
It's facts. And then they giggle. I love this cut. And I wonder if you as an editor were pleased. They giggle after kissing, and then it cuts to Voldemort screaming in fury. It's like, hee hee hee. I thought that was a really neat cut. And then we see Tonks briefly. Gonna be sad as shit very soon.
Well, reaching out to each other because Voldemort uses the Elder Wand to. He's like, enough of this shit.
Yeah, it should have been done. Did that, but you can see like his Elder One has like a rift in it as he does that spell. But he quickly destroys their shield with his power, and the bridge is what Seamus was allowed to blow up. So
We also see staircase for the fourth time in between this.
Nice.
we did, and I think I skipped over a part where Neville saw everybody running into the shield and bursting into nothingness and was overconfident with the evil wizards.
Andy, who is that dude? The guy who's leading the
his name is Scabier.
Scabier. Do we know him from somewhere before?
He's a snatcher. You see him
Right.
in the movie before this one. But
But he's not in it previously. Okay.
No.
Because Chris and I were a little confused. Like, who is that guy? Is he supposed to be the werewolf?
Oh, we
dude
thought he was Greyback for a while.
who got recast as.
He does look a little bit like Greyback.
He
You
looks
do
kinda
see
like
like
Fenrir.
Greyback in this.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
chewing on somebody. I didn't
Lavender.
recognize. Is it
Brown.
Lavender Brown?
Yeah, he's killing Lavender.
Is she dead or is she a werewolf now?
She did.
Dang, Lavender Brown.
He done ate that.
That's sad. We find out. So Neville runs, and then the bridge blows up. It's a really interesting scene because it looks like Neville's dead. He falls, right, and then he starts to climb back up. Nobody helps him.
Yeah.
Like they all still start tiptoeing forward. It's
They're
like,
the word, like-
fucking grab him. You know how hard that is?
Maybe it was one of the snatchers who just is better at jumping.
He looks like Neville. They kick Neville.
Is he gonna make it?
Oh no! Look
so
what happened on
concerned
accident.
for you.
All the other boys are like really self-conscious that Neville had a glow up, and they're like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
the
they
hot
hate him.
one's gone."
And the enemy side is fucking trolls. We cut to a couple trolls real quick. Neville, he's so confident now. He's like killed a few guys and shit. I killed a guy. He's like Brick. Now he's got that adrenaline and he's like, I fucking love Luna. And I think it's a really cool moment for Neville and his arc.
Yeah.
Harry and Ginny kiss nowhere near as passionately as Hermione and Ron
Chris, where are they kissing?
on the steps.
5.
Harry, we cut back to Harry at the room of requirement, or he runs in there, and Ron keeps being smart because he's what else does he do? Oh, he sees the Marauders map, and as soon as Harry disappears, he's like, he must be in the room of requirement because remember that doesn't show up on the map. And Hermione's like,
You said that last
you're
year.
right. Yeah,
He's like, I did say that.
Oh, he
So-
listens.
this is Graham falling more and more in love with you, Ron. Yeah, it's mental how smart I am.
It's mental.
We see Draco and his little fuckers sneaking around. Harry hears Parseltongue and therefore finds the Horcrux disguised as the diadem of Rowena Ravenclaw. And then we see Draco and company pop up. I don't even know why or what the fuck their plan is. They're just like, we want to be shitty briefly.
Isn't Draco's just wants his wand back, right?
Maybe.
He just
Is that
wants his
what it
wand
is?
back.
Hey, give me my
because
wand.
he's using his mom's wand, and he's like, "It's
This
so
is
embarrassing.
embarrassing.
I'm
Yeah.
using my mom's wand."
Yeah.
And then like Goyle's like, "Fucking kill him," and Blaze is like, "I just want to go to the dungeons."
Yeah.
As soon as they think they have the drop on Harry, that's when Ron and Hermione show up, and he chases them off. That's my girlfriend, you numpties.
She's
love they
like,
call him a nupty.
whoa. We haven't had that conversation.
It's messed up that like Goyle's like, I thought I could have like Goyle's out for
He's
blood.
trying to kill.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Little skinhead.
He gets his.
For real.
There was also a moment I noticed that I skipped over where during the parcel tongue scene when Ron says Harry talks in his sleep, have you ever noticed? Hermione, like, I don't know why they wrote this scene this way, because I think they kind of toy with the idea of a romantic relationship between Harry and Hermione.
I think so.
Because Ron says that and she goes, no, why would I know that? Why would I notice that? I don't care about Harry.
It's so stupid. I don't know how he sleeps.
I've never watched him sleep.
He gets morning wood.
Like it's an interesting thing.
It's called Morning Wand.
Reducio. So yeah, he chases after the numpties. Ron comes screaming back.
It's very Harrison Ford from A New Hope.
Yeah.
He goes chasing after the stormtroopers and then comes back screaming.
So what you're saying is they ripped off a lot of Harrison Ford movies.
I don't blame them. It's Harrison.
I love that Goyle like set this pretty awesome spell in motion, but doesn't know how to control it. Like when it cuts back to him, he's like trying to get the fire off of his wand. Like
He ends up just throwing
Throwing
the
it,
wand.
yeah, like fuck it, it's dangerous, it's on fire. So they run from the fire, which takes the shape of different animals rampaging after them repeatedly until eventually Ron requires 3 brooms. And so, of course, in the room that they're in, they find those. Harry, of course, being Harry, wants to save nameless boy that replaced Crabbe
Blaze.
and Draco. It's Blaze.
It's funny that
aptly
the
named.
boy who does not die in a fire is named Blaze.
That's right.
Nice.
That's what he would survive.
Blaze Zabini.
Is that his name? Blaze
I
Zabini?
think that's his last name.
And so, yeah, they rescue Draco and Blaze, and then they in the process, they stab the Horcrux as soon as they get out, throw it back into the fire.
I know a guy named Blaze.
Yep.
So does Andy.
Yep, sure do.
And as soon as it cuts to Voldemort, there is a guy. Were you watching with subtitles on?
Yeah, I mean, always.
Were you watching with subtitles on?
Yes.
The guy who talks to Voldemort before he freaks out at the
Peter.
his name is Thickness.
Oh.
It's Pius Thickness. He's the new minister of magic.
Why is the guy's name Thickness, bro? I was like, yes. Yeah. Sorry,
I'm
I'm a
thinking of a
child.
different guy. Later on in the movie, there's a dude who talks to Voldemort and his name's Peter. And I thought it was like, is that supposed to be Peter Pettigrew? Oh, no, it's not.
That's his homie Thickness. What's up, Thickness? I know why they named you that.
Watch
Slaps
out,
him.
Thickness.
And then he says, come, Nagini. I need to keep you safe. Because that's a Horcrux. And now he's panicking. He's panicking. And then that's when they tell Harry, look inside Voldemort. Find the snake, bro. And he does, because apparently the most powerful wizard to ever be thought about is terrible at occlumency. And he sees him talking with Lucius. He's shitting all over Lucius. And then he's like, don't worry.
How do you live with yourself, Lucius? You suck so hard.
I don't know, my lord.
Actually, honestly,
I seriously, I hate myself.
he does. And he's so haggard and shit.
I need some eye cream because I've got some bags under them shits.
And he says his whole plan is that Harry's going to come to him, but we don't know why. And he says to go get Snape. We cut to Hogwarts being destroyed. There's towers crumbling and shit like that. It's very sad. Greyback was eating Lavender Brown. This is where that happens. Aberforth runs out and lets loose a Patronus, I think, to get rid of the demand. Oh, no, it's a Patronus.
We just keep getting thwarted by this. Fellas, we need to come up with a plan
Why do...
every time.
I mean, we're scary, right?
Yeah.
We got pretty good tactics, I would say, except I think the very simple spell they can teach to children that works against us every time.
We're super spooky creatures who can fly. We've got the mastery of the air, but oh no, someone shot a doe at us.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty pathetic if you
doe.
think. Oh my God, I'm scared of that. Bambi. You ever seen Bambi?
Oh, that's a sad movie.
Well, not anymore. I laugh when I see it now because I think about the damn doe. They won't let me get in the damn doe.
My favorite character is Thumper.
And scene.
You know what I'm saying? Andy saw what I went for there. I reached for this. I perhaps too high. Was it Sisyphus?
Icarus?
Icarus. Sisyphus is the rock guy.
Yes.
I get my Greek myths mixed up. You know, I didn't pay attention when it. No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Anywhoozle.
We did see a staircase for the 6th time.
I thank you. I was waiting on it.
Yep.
Do we skip the fight sequence where Harry's like running around outside and there's like trolls fighting and they're dodging under them and stuff? Has that happened yet?
We kind of blazed through it.
Maybe. I think, there's a lot of intercutting.
It's real cool.
It is.
Anyway.
I like the battle stuff. Even like, we'll get there, but Harry and Voldemort's battle. I mean, you mentioned that there's a lot of things you don't like about it, but I thought it was pretty well done as far as somebody who could stand up to Voldemort just because Voldemort's so upset about various things.
Yes.
It isn't like that battle kind of closes a loop where Harry and team kind of face everything they've fought in every other movie leading up to this point.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you see
troll,
the
get
spiders.
spider,
Yeah.
They go to the Chamber of Secrets.
That's what I mean. This whole movie is just a nostalgic trip through memory lane for the entire story.
Right.
So he talks about the wand with Snape and tells him,
astute, Stephen.
I really love you, Snape.
I really love you, Snape. However,
He believes that the Elder Wand owes its allegiance to Snape and that he has to die in order to fully control it.
only I can live forever, Severus.
But it's a good line, and it's Ray Fiennes. It's so well delivered. But he's like,
But you've been such a good servant that you deserve to die in such a way that you could deliver a speech to a protagonist when I leave. So Nagini,
You're a real homie. I hope this doesn't hurt.
for no reason will I not Avada Kedavra you. I will allow my snake to repeat it.
it's actually a brutal scene when it cuts
It's
to
super
Harry.
fucked up,
And you
yeah.
see the wall shaking and the snake. I hate it. It's because I
It's
personally
hard to
like
watch.
Snape. So I'm like, shit.
It's the most brutal death, I think, in all of
And
Harry
I
Potter.
think there's a huge element of how much I love Alan Rickman to my love for the character of Severus Snape. Because I typically have shed a little tear for the fact that the actor is dead when I see him on screen. And this again is very profoundly effective, but he comes inside, Harry kneels beside him, still thinking that he's evil, but he's just the kind of guy Harry is. And he says, God damn it.
You have your mother's eyes.
This is his last fucking line, of course.
Look at me.
But he says to take the tears to the pensive.
Take them.
And I didn't know when he said take them that he was talking about his tears. Did you? I mean,
What do you think he was referring to?
I did take these. I don't know.
Take these.
I was looking around like, what's he talking about?
It's like a fucking Suicide Squad. Take what? Take it where?
Oh, like,
What am I supposed to do
Harley
with this
Quinn.
thing?
Yeah. Just start panicking. Takes his shoes and runs away. I don't know.
Guys, look at the room. Just take everything.
She starts like smacking him in the face after he's
Like,
dead.
why do the tears work? Like, you have to take a wand and you pull the mind noodle out.
Yeah.
And
Don't
for
they
some
use
reason, the tears
one other
work.
time before.
I don't think so. I think this is the only time we see tears be how the memory comes out.
And it's
Every
like
other time
multiple memories, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's a whole montage of memories.
Yeah, like the whole life. Like Harry comes out of the pensive and Voldemort just won.
You were in there for like 36 days.
What year is it?
It's like Jumanji. He comes out with a beard and shit. Damn it, Snape. Your plan backfired. Anyway.
But what do you get? So yeah, he gets the tears.
Yeah. So then we get more Voldemort podcast.
Episode 2, Still Gonna Kill You. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Voldemort's voice. Download now. The Dark Lord, come to pod. Brought to you by Blue Chew. Can you not
Gorgio.
Can you not get it up anymore? And Gorgio's just not cutting it. Well, the Muggles have done it again. They've created a pill.
They return. They return to the desolation at Hogwarts. The main gang. We see Fred, Remus, Tonks. By the way, I don't think they talk about it in the movie ever. But Remus and Tonks have a child, and Harry is
Teddy.
Harry's the godfather.
They almost talk about it in the previous movie where Tonks is like, "We've got great news," and Mad Eye's like, "We don't got time for that shit.
I'm about to die off screen.
Let's just make mention of it next movie, and then people will be confused."
Well, yeah, but
nuggets.
it's a cool thing because Harry is the father of that kid. Like he's got his own kids, but one of those kids we see at the end, I think, is Remus and Tonks' kid, right? Like the oldest one should be.
I think you see him running around amongst, but you see James Albus.
Yeah.
And like
Carl.
All the kids, Carl.
I like to think one's a squib named Carl.
Yeah.
And they hate him. He lives in the cupboard under the stairs.
In the book, 100%.
Carl Filch Potter.
They talk about Teddy and they say, I saw him kissing a girl or something, but I don't remember in the movie.
I just thought it was neat that Jenny and Harry are Remus and Tonks' kids' parents.
So I watched this. So I watched this movie again today, but I did watch it like a month ago in December when we were kind of plowing through stuff. And I was taking notes and I completely did not see the shot of Tonks and Remus's body in that scene.
It's terrible.
So later on, when he sees like all of his mentors, I was like, wait, huh? Wait, hold up. What the fuck happened? Where?
Honestly,
they have a kid?
I love.
You're being real chill about
What the
this.
fuck did I miss?
What happened?
So
Was there a part 1.5?
I love Remus and Tonks, like disproportionately, especially for how much time they get in the movies. But like, Tonks's body is one of the most affecting things in this movie to me. I can't really.
It's because they're reaching for each other.
I mean, I just love the character of Tonks.
Right.
I don't know why. Maybe it's like left over from how many, like when I read the books and she's much more fleshed out there. I have no idea. I just know that when I see Tonks, I'm like,
Tonks is awesome.
Because my wife came down to get something to eat while I was watching it this morning, and I was crying, and I just said Tonks, and she said, and Remus and Fred, and I was like Tonks. Like Fred's fine because there's another one, you know. It's like okay,
Jesus Christ!
No, that is by far the worst one. God,
it's sad. It's sad. I didn't know if you wanted to go on.
Rest in peace, Fred.
R.I.P. Fred.
Again, I would have liked to have seen all of this. Maybe even stuck around with the Weasley a little bit more
Off
just to
screen.
see what George is going through.
And Andy, Andy was right in the car earlier. He said, they die off screen in the books. May I die, all these people, right? And they do.
But
I
the
think the
great
movie
thing about
had
movies.
Yes, I agree with you.
Because they already changed some shit.
Because it's like in the book, it's from a POV that wasn't there to witness it. It makes sense. But in the movie, you don't have that constraint. It's a huge error not to show a lot of this stuff, I think, on screen.
And also the Battle of Hogwarts does feel smaller than what I feel like it should feel. Because you only get like... they're on the bridge
Don't
now.
get me started.
Yeah.
Why is Durmstrang and the French school not here? Like this is a Wizarding World issue.
Yeah.
It's not just Hogwarts. Like this is World
You
War
know,
II,
they didn't
but
have
only
time.
fought by England.
That's
And
how
like,
the people of Ukraine feel right now, Chris.
very true, but there's no political reasoning why nobody else could interfere or something like, oh no, due to the, we're going to lose our oil from Voldemort if we.
Oh, fun fact. There is like a little tiny piece, Easter egg. Oliver Wood, the former captain of the Quidditch team, has like the tiniest cameo where he flies.
He would have
by
been
on a
graduated too, right?
broom. Oh yeah, he graduated like years ago, and like he flies by on a broom and goes, "Come on, let's go."
Oh, yeah, I
And you
remember
see
that guy.
for a split second.
There's probably
Wood?
like 3 angry wizards that are like, my brother graduated Hogwarts and became a guard at Gringotts, Harry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was so excited to get a job.
Yep. Literally just doing their job.
Anyway, and he was always bad at that de-escalation spell when falling. That's why he didn't play Quidditch.
It's the one thing he couldn't do.
De-escalator. Damn it. Smush.
Anyway, so yeah, where we at? Snape's memories. Bunch of huge stuff happens. We find out, if you didn't know, he had been in love with Lily his entire life. He saw her getting bullied by her sister Petunia, and I love how they characterize Snape because he's always had that like chip on his shoulder element to his personality. Because he's like, she's just jealous because she's not ordinary and you're special. And Lily goes, "That's mean."
That's me.
Characterizing her, right? And James kind of was a little fucker. Right. So Harry sees all of this. He sees that Snape's been the one protecting him and looking out for him the whole time. He's the one that was actually saving him on the Quidditch field. It was his Doe Patronus modeled after Lily that showed him where the sword of Gryffindor was. There's one other time that was Snape was interfering and Harry didn't know. I forget. Voldemort told Snape to kill him. That's what's revealed to Harry in this moment. And also that Harry must die, that he's one of the last Horcruxes. And Snape was upset, clearly cares for Harry. Like you could, like a pig to slaughter.
Don't tell me you care about the boy now, Severus.
I certainly don't. I'm Dumbledore. And like, what if he said some shit he didn't know Snape was going to give him the memory? He's just going to tell him. I mean, Harry sucks if you think about it.
No, I laugh at that scene when Dumbledore's like, "Don't tell me you care about the boy," and then instead of answering him, Snape just like dramatically whips up a Patronus, and the
I
dough
love that flourish.
It's a great shot, but I don't know. But I always just imagine Dumbledore like just not knowing that piece of the puzzle, be like, "Okay."
That was a weird answer.
like if he didn't know Lily's Patronus was a dough, Dumbledore just like,
he's like,
cool.
That's a pretty lame Patronus.
Do it.
And then of course you get the iconic, after all this time,
Always. Forever. Even though she's dead. And I was going to talk to Mrs. Norris, but Filch was really protective. And they turned her into a cat.
After all this time, Severus. Yeah, man, have you seen her eyes?
I see them everywhere.
Everyone
Harry goes.
talks about them after all this time. It's not just me, Albus.
So then Harry gets that horrible news. He runs outside. He sees Ron and Hermione. Where, Steve?
Staircase.
On the staircase.
How many is that?
We're at 7 right now.
So this is the other part that I cried at because Harry starts to tell them, and he's like, and I think you've always known Hermione because Hermione's brilliant. And it cuts to Emma Watson, and she's just like, has been trying to find any other way this whole time. The whole idea that that she was going through that crushed me. And Emma Watson's a brilliant actress, and I had a powerful moment for me personally in this scene.
Absolutely. And she says, we'll go with you.
And he's like, nope, you got to go find Nagini, even though Nagini's where I'm going.
Kill the snake.
It'll work out. Stay here. And he goes to the Forbidden Forest. And then he looks at the snitch. And again, the whole idea, it's silly, but I love it. That Dumbledore is literally the smartest being to ever cross the earth and planned every minuscule detail of this out. Because he looks at the snitch given to him by Dumbledore and says, I open at the close. Inside is the resurrection stone where he can see his family.
Where he has to say, I'm ready to die into the snitch.
And then give it a little... he licks it.
Little kiss.
Well, it's sad that Dumbledore is not. Maybe is that why Dumbledore is able to talk to him after this because of the Resurrection Stone? Because Dumbledore is not in the group, and he's like one of the
Harry
most
drops
important
the stone
mentors
before he confronts Voldemort.
Yeah, so I have a question for you. I don't understand why Harry survives. Like, did the Horcrux take the brunt of the curse?
Yeah, so like Voldemort killed the part of him. Killed
So
the
that's
part of
what he
himself
killed.
inside of Harry.
Instead of Harry, because Dumbledore gives that whole like, I love this scene. Don't get me wrong. This is one of my favorite things in the entire franchise. Michael Gambon crushes this, but also the writing is very, very good. There's a funny moment where Voldemort's sad Harry didn't come. He's like, I thought he would come.
Yeah.
And like slumps his shoulders. And even Bellatrix is like, oh. And then Harry shows up. And then one of the most iconic lines in the entire franchise, the boy who lived, come to die. Which is great. Hagrid's fucking there, cuz. Harry, no!
I've been wrapped up the whole time. That's where I've been this whole movie. They kind of lead me around like a pet.
When you die, I'm going to carry you because they told me to.
That's why they have me. I lift things. I'm a big boy. Should not have told you that. Should not have told you that. Should have told you that. we missed the scene where he sees his parents and mentors, and Remus is like,
Stop me if you need to, because we only got an hour till.
I just think it's really funny that Remus is like, yeah, my kid's an orphan now. It's no big deal.
But when later on you tell him why we died. I don't know why you got Canadian, but later on, don't you know?
Hey, don't be sad, Harry.
Harry.
But then Lily.
Oh, heck, don't miss me.
I thought this was an interesting choice that Lily ends the scene by doing the always. I think that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, you'll be with me, right? And she's like, always. Like,
she
that's
loves
the thing that Severus says.
I never got that,
But she doesn't
Steven.
love him.
Steve's a smart
Harry.
boy.
So good.
Steve's a smart boy.
Yeah, he that one. He does that one to Harry.
And then we see
Harry,
ugly ass baby Voldemort thing.
Yeah.
What is that?
I know. Literally, Harry's like, "What the fuck is that?" And Dumbledore's like, "Let's go over here."
Ew, Harry clearly looks like Voldemort.
You're right. You never were the brightest. This is King's Cross Station. And I love this speech that Dumbledore gives. Words are our most inexhaustible source of magic, which is this is coming from the author who loves words. And if you're a reader, then you love words. So this is like the emotional linchpin of everyone who loves words. I'm one of those people. I love this moment. And then he says, I always fancied myself as somebody who's good with words. And I think he's talking about the sword, and he's saying help is always there at Hogwarts for those who ask. But he says, but I should have said help is always there for those who deserve it. Don't pity the dead, pity the living, all those who live without love. And then Harry says, is any of this real? And I love the fact that Dumbledore says,
he says, is any of this real or is it all in my head?
yeah. And then he says, so of course it's happening inside your head, Harry, but why should that mean it's not real? And like, again, that's in reference to I'm getting chills. That's in reference to stories, right? And I just like, I love that so much.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Anyway, we cut back outside. Harry pretends to be, I think it's very silly and almost undoes everything I'm riding high at this moment because it cuts back and I like the fact that they're all like, is he dead? Because Voldemort's been so unsuccessful at killing Harry for 18 years now.
And he fell over.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
He had a fainting spell.
And everybody's like very concerned. I love all of that. But what doesn't make any sense is that they let Narcissa go check. And they're like,
It's super important that he's dead, but Narcissa said he is. Let's roll out. Hagrid, pick him. Person who wouldn't tell me if he's alive, pick him up.
you know what I mean? It works out because it's a good reveal later, but it's silly. And she's like, is Draco alive? Because she can tell he's not dead. So there's always an element of humanity to the Malfoys.
I'm not sure he was the last time I saw him.
My wife laughed because we were watching Charlie's Angels, the original one, and there's a moment where maybe it's the second one, Full Throttle, because we watched that one as well, where Drew Barrymore, I think it's the first one, Drew Barrymore is playing Scrabble with Sam Rockwell, who turns out to be the villain. Spoilers, sorry. And for some reason, she thinks he's not the villain, and she goes to warn him, and she spells enemy on the Scrabble board. And it's so fucking stupid because that's good. That's fine. Sure. But then she goes, enemy, and reads it to him. Like the villain is where Steve is. And like, it gave us that vibe when Harry nods. Cause it's like, don't move, you know, It's like, you can see Harry just go thumbs up.
Just to do a big thumbs up.
Yeah. When Draco's alive. But anyway, that's all
like,
she's concerned about.
Yep.
What was that?
I put him on my broom. He tried to burn me. So then Voldemort triumphantly returns with Harry's body. And this is when he does like his little happy jig.
I love it.
Hey, everybody, no need to fight. Let's party. I don't know why he turned into the Slim Jim guy. What's his name?
Slim Jim
The wrestler.
What that was
Randy
your macho
Savage?
man, Randy
It
Savage?
was just a hint of, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because Bonesaw's gonna get you.
Harry Potter, I want you with a key.
Yeah. The Spider-Man Randy Savage reference didn't get
Elizabeth.
What?
That was his lady. That was Macho Man Randy Savage's lady.
Oh, that was a
God,
deep cut.
Steve.
That was a deep cut. Elizabeth.
Too deep.
All my wrestling fans are like, yeah, Elizabeth, duh. That's not a deep cut. That is surface level.
He calls out everybody, you better join me now. The Malfoys, Draco does.
Draco.
Yeah, Lucius.
Draco.
He's going to kill you.
Voldemort's like, shut the fuck
And then
up.
Neville trudges forward.
I hold on. I love it when Malfoy does finally, or Draco, he finally goes over. He doesn't want to switch sides, but he does out of, assume loyalty to
Peer
his parents.
pressure to his family.
But then Voldemort I love the tiny hug
hug.
he gives him because it's clearly it's a man who does not know what love is, and so the way he hugs him is so indicative of that character. And I love how awkward that moment is.
I put Voldy hugs for Draco because I was like, that's interesting. Then Neville trudges forward, and everybody thinks he's joining the dark side, right? And then so everybody decides to mock him, like, I was hoping for something better, loser.
I'm Neville Longbottom. Ah, we killed your parents.
Bellatrix laughs. So then he asks if he can give a speech, and Voldemort's like,
What could go wrong? You don't look like the kind that could inspire. You don't look very charismatic. Go ahead. I'll make fun of you. Whatever you say will be funny.
and then he's like, it doesn't matter how he's dead because we're cool too, right?
We got him here.
Look, I got a sword. That's it.
I like the idea because there's the whole thing like, was the chosen one Harry or was it Neville? And I like the idea of playing with that just one more time where Neville's the one that kind of really rallies the troops in this moment. And he speaks to the heart of the resistance.
But then Harry rolls out of Hagrid's arms and goes, doesn't matter because I am alive. I'm the hero.
I'm the chosen one. Fuck you, Neville.
I actually wrote that in my notes. Harry steals Neville's moment.
I could have Luna if I wanted. But I choose Ginny, I guess. Just because I'm still here. Just because it pisses Ron off. And then Voldemort.
All hell breaks loose.
I like how a lot of the Death Eaters, I think, leave when Harry's alive. They're like, holy shit, Voldemort's a weak bitch.
He wakes up. The half of them bail.
They disapparate, yeah.
There's a really poor editing issue in this, like 30 seconds or so. Well, like this whole fight scene with Voldemort and Harry has some really weird editing in it, but this one in particular has a really strange one where, as you mentioned, some of the Death Eaters start leaving. And Bellatrix immediately starts yelling, Lucius, get back here! Don't run, Lucius! And Lucius is in the moment still standing there. He's not even starting to walk away. And then like 30 seconds later, they show them leaving. But it's weird that they included her freaking out that he's leaving. He's like, I'm still here.
Yeah, his whole family makes
here.
a run for it. It's interesting that they take the time to see that the Malfoys are going to survive. Everybody starts abandoning Voldemort. There's a long sequence of Harry dueling Voldemort. Some parts good, some parts not. We see the fangs destroyed. I'm going to run right through this and you guys go back and then stop me on anything you want to take note of because we only got like 45 minutes to do the Patreon episode. But Hermione starts throwing rocks at Nagini, which I thought was funny. It's like, you got a wand. But sure, you're panicking. We cut back to Neville, who was actually knocked unconscious by Voldemort when they were entering the.
I love that sequence of Neville like waking up on the ground and like
it's
a wizard gets blasted past.
Yeah,
him.
it's very cool. It reminds me of I don't know, like a
Tom
guy
Hanks waking up at D-Day,
like or like a Guy Ritchie thing. Even like there's a kind of a funny quality to it, but like in a cool way, like the chaos around you. And the fact that it's Neville centralized in that chaos makes it kind of funny and an even better scene. I really like that moment too. But yeah, he wakes up and then we see Voldemort traps Harry in his robes. He's got a cool spell. It's just pretty creative. And then an awesome moment we can't gloss over.
That was weird because he traps Harry, but then doesn't it like cut back to them and they're out of the robes? Like what happened with that? I feel like there's a scene missing there.
I mean, you can just assume they've been a tussling, I guess.
And they've also been fighting in the staircase, number 8.
And yes. And you know,
him, like he apparates
he
onto
jumps
the
down to the staircase.
And like walks up and stuff. And like it's real bad green screen, but it's still kind of cool.
I like the fact that he's like teleporting around Harry and stuff. And he's just unable to hurt him because his wand doesn't respond to him, you know, otherwise Harry'd be fucked. And then we cut to Bellatrix almost hurts Jenny. And then Molly is not having that. That's my daughter, you bitch.
Not my daughter, you bitch. And
Yeah.
it's fucking iconic, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I love
the only curse word in all of Harry Potter.
and it's the only
so
time
strong.
somebody dies from something other than Avada Kedavra. Whatever spell Molly knew
Yeah.
is badass. More of that, please. Like she freezes her and she busts into 1,000 pieces like Terminator 2 style.
Fucking dehydrates her or something.
Yeah, and like you can see the look on
the dehydrated husk of Bellatrix Lestrange.
and Bellatrix is one of my like top 3 favorite characters. I love Bellatrix as depicted by Helena Bonham Carter, not the French one. And
Strong.
Lestrange.
Harry.
Harry.
I thought her death scene was kind of flat.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very quick because we're cutting around all this stuff, but like the fact that she got frozen and broken.
Does her and Molly have a connection in the books like that they just don't do in the movies?
They are related in some small way, but like most of the purebloods are. So
You mean you felt like Molly didn't
Sirius
deserve the
enumerates
oomph?
on it at some point.
Yeah, I didn't feel like she deserved the oomph, and then also Bellatrix Lestrange is this like super awesome badass character, and she just gets chumped out by Molly Weasley.
Molly's a bad bitch.
Well, it's weird because like Bellatrix is like, haha, I'm doing spells, and then Molly's like, no, you're not, and then Bellatrix is like, I counter your spell, and then Molly's like, no, you're dead now. It was just a weird like.
It was a quick duel.
I don't know. It didn't do anything. For me.
I take umbrage with the fact that you respect the big wand energy of Arthur, but you see Molly doing some stuff.
I don't
and all of a sudden
disrespect
it's
the big mommy
unbelievable. Is it
energy of
unbelievable
Molly.
because it's a woman, Steve?
No, I think they could have staged it better and it would have looked cooler.
100%.
It looked like they were like, okay, we got Helena Bonham Carter for like another half hour.
Yeah.
We're still in the cafeteria scene. Jump up on the table and just do some little flicks and switches.
They
Quick,
give-
get to the stairs.
Back to the stairs.
Get to the stairs, quick.
We bought stock in stairs.
They broke that set down before they could do this duel, Steve.
Shit.
That's true.
Is this in the Great Hall where this happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, they give short shrift to a lot of really cool moments, but again, it is iconic though. You bitch, because they curse, Steve.
It's a good line.
And an American curse word, not just a numpty or whatever.
She's not like, oh, bollocks.
So then we cut to, I said, what the fuck does she do to Bellatrix was my note. Come on. We cut to Harry who like takes control of the battle with Voldemort. They're up on the precipice and he's like, he calls him Tom to belittle him. Come on, Tom. And he's like, it's such a baller move, you know? Fly me, Tom. And then
I hate that. And they're like their faces are melting together and stuff.
draw me like one of your French girls, Tom. Well, that's the thing I was alluding to earlier when Helena Ravenclaw says, you remind me of him.
Yeah,
it's intentional that their faces are getting pushed together.
I get it.
They're two sides of the same
It
coin.
looks silly though.
It just looks dumb.
I agree. It doesn't look great, but it's cool.
No.
They're melting.
Also, it's a weird visual to have someone hug Big Daddy V like that and throw him off a.
Draco just did.
Yeah, for real.
Well, that was a characteristic hug, but the whole like, I'm gonna like look like I'm about to make out with you hug.
Yeah,
is
what if he
kinda
had?
fun. I wish he would have. I would have like,
Harry, you have awakened something inside me.
I have a hot take. Don't remind me.
They just start making
Harry.
This whole time I thought I wanted to kill you, but I love you. You have Lily's eyes.
Obviously. And then Neville kills Nagini at the last second, which is really cool. He gets this fucking moment because all of the basilisk
the
fangs.
sound effect when he kills Nagini is amazing.
Whoosh. Is it a whip?
No, it's like him
I
screaming.
don't know why I did. Whoosh.
He screams, he goes like, ah! And like there's like an echo that
Echo.
trails behind it, and it's dope.
I wish he had screamed for Luna. Voldemort.
that's
My
a
next
thing
note.
in the movie only, right? Is Neville and Luna being a couple? Like that's not a thing in the books. I don't think.
I think
Correct.
it's canon. It's not canon that
No,
Neville
she-
gets with
she-
Luna.
She marries someone else.
She marries a descendant of Newt Scamander.
Lame. I hate
I don't
Newt
know why I
Scamander.
know that, but it's true.
I know why I know that because you know everything, Potter. Voldemort flakes away like a little bitch. And then we see a lasting shot of Neville and Luna. I love the quirky romance that they have because they just sit and chill.
Yeah.
And I mean to gloss over Voldemort's death, but honestly,
you just blew right past that.
the movie glosses over it. Their wands are connected. The snake dies, and then he like flakes away.
Yep.
Well,
What did I miss?
They do well. They really are kind of leaning into the whole the Elder Wand doesn't belong to him; it belongs to Harry, and Harry kind of accentuates that by calling the wand to his hand,
He does disarm him.
and that's why Harry can just kind of like just obliterate him in that last moment.
He doesn't do anything though. As soon as he takes the wand and the snake's dead, there is no satisfying spell that Voldemort can't defend from. He just flakes
Well,
away.
because he's already dead. Because like
Why?
because
all the Horcruxes are destroyed.
all the Horcruxes are dead, and then the original energy beam that they were just dueling, Harry's beam pushes it to
back.
Voldemort, so he's already been hit by the energy.
Oh, he's been hit.
He got
So he
hit
gets
by
hit
his
by-
own magic.
Yeah, he gets hit by his own magic, and then Harry takes the wand from him.
Okay, I missed that. Thank you.
It's a whole thing where Harry, it's like how Death Eaters identify him because he uses Expelliarmus in like life or death fights where like you should be using other spells. You
That's
should be trying to
my
disarm.
argument. Yeah.
But
He just loves that Expelliarmus. That's how we know it's. Oh, that must be him.
Expelliarmus. But yeah, and then Voldemort gets snapped by Thanos and goes away.
yes.
Yeah.
Then we see Neville and Luna.
Yeah.
And then in the aftermath, Harry's walking around.
Everybody's drinking coffee.
I get, yeah. And
Everybody.
I imagine it's tea, right?
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
But there's a vibe of Harry.
It's coffee cups,
Nobody's talking to Harry, and he looks like a douchebag. Like, hey guys, just the boy who's still alive. The boy who lived twice. Elder Wand, am I right? Neville, I could have Luna. Just reminding you.
Just reminding you. Dean Thomas, I could have you if I wanted. Cho, still got a door into that relationship.
think I will.
Aberforth, come forth.
Everybody, meet me in the room of requirement because I require that ass.
Professor Slughorn, I collect you. Flitwick,
just-
good to see you.
He seems like he wants a party for him that he's used to and nobody's throwing it. Like he's just like,
Even Hagrid's like, Harry,
yeah.
glad you're not dead.
Nobody cares about you anymore, Harry.
There's some fire-ass tea over there I'm going to help myself to.
Shouldn't have told you that.
Should not have told you that. Nope.
Yeah, so then there's a long explanation about the Elder Wand and why he was able to get it, which of course is because it actually belonged to Draco, not Snape, and Harry had already defeated Draco at Bellatrix's house, or the Malfoy Manse, or wherever that was. And that's Harry explaining that to Ron and Hermione. And then Ron's like, we could rule the world. That'd be mental. And Harry breaks the Elder Wand, which is very not cool, and throws it over. So at one point, he had all three of the Deathly Hallows. He could have been immortal, right? Like that's the theory.
Yeah, the Philosopher's Stone is somewhere in the woods. The Elder Wand's broken in half somewhere in the woods. And he probably kept the cloak because that's cool.
The cloak. Well, it's interesting. In the original story, like the cartoon, which is really cool in the first movie, where we see the story of the Deathly Hallows, the cloak is the only one that didn't kill one of the brothers. So it seems to be the only innocuous Hallow, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean, like the implications that like they weren't actually made by three people that defeated death or whatever. They were made by three genius brother inventors. And
They're monkey's paws.
And Harry is a descendant of one of the Peverell brothers, and like it worked its way down through the generations and made its way to him. So yeah, whether he would have been immortal or not, no, but he would have been super duper powerful.
Yeah.
What I hate is that in the books, he uses the Elder Wand to repair his own, and then breaks the Elder Wand and gets rid of it.
Which is cool.
He doesn't do that in this.
So he's just got a broken wand.
He just doesn't got a wand.
I'm a muggle now. Go back to my cupboard. And then, yeah, that's it. I wrote, I'll be... I forgot I did that. So I wrote, I'll be leaving you now when the movie fades, because at the end, when Dumbledore is done talking to Harry, very abruptly, he goes, I'll be leaving you now. And my wife died laughing because it's really like a gangster move because there's still really important information he could tell Harry, but he just goes, I'll be leaving you now. Nope. I'm done.
Figure it out.
You'll be all right. I planned it all out to the T. I already know what you're going to do, and it's going to be fine.
The dragon will help.
Don't worry about it.
So then I love the idea that all of this hinges on so many tiny details, and they could have, like, imagine if Harry was like, I don't want the old snitch, and threw it.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck. No.
Or if Ron didn't love Hermione and didn't do the Deluminator thing.
Yeah, I just threw that away. He just lit a blunt
I
with it.
still
and
think
threw
it's
it.
so funny that Dumbledore's master plan was Ron's a flake.
Right.
He knew everything, baby. So then the final scene of the film is a bunch of Harry's little bastards. We see King's Cross State. Draco and is that Penelope Clearwater or Pansy Parkinson?
That Draco's with?
Tom Felton looks good with the beard, by the way.
It's definitely not Penelope Clearwater, but it could be Pansy. I don't remember who Draco ends up marrying.
And we see...
I don't think he marries a Slytherin.
Ron and Hermione have some kiddos. And they all look like they're still 20, but they have a bunch of kids. And
Draco marries Astoria Greengrass,
Okay.
really?
younger sister
Never heard of that.
fellow Slytherin. Oh, I don't know.
Crab. It's Mrs. Crab. Mr. Crab. And then his son's name is Albus Severus Potter. And he's nervous, just like Harry was in the first movie, about maybe being a Slytherin.
Do you think Ginny had any ideas on what to name their kids?
No. She isn't going to say.
Or do you think Harry was like, I'm taking all of them. I am the chosen one.
Well, what's his other son's name?
James Sirius.
Damn. So there's no Fred.
Yeah.
There's no Fred. No. No Tonks.
I think that George has a son named Fred.
I would hope.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We never met Bill, but we can assume he's supportive in some way.
You met Bill?
Or no, we didn't get to see Charlie in the movies.
Yeah, correct.
He's out fighting a dragon somewhere.
Percy just fucked off for this movie. So
True. What about Percy's bitch ass?
Don't know.
And what about the ghost? Why didn't the ghosts help defend Hogwarts? In the books, they do, don't they?
I think I don't
Like the Bloody Baron's like, oh, I don't know what he could do. But
That'd been sweet. Right.
what if Moaning Myrtle was just like, it sucks?
Nobody's going to my bathroom. all these,
anybody need
all these men and nobody wants to see me.
That's your most shockingly good impression.
Thank you.
Voldemort's kind of hot. So here's
Your nose.
Gosh, your nose.
see what you did.
He doesn't have one.
Thanks.
Here's my hot take. I think Harry should have died permanently, and that would have been a better story because he's kind of like a
He did.
overly protagonist fucker. He didn't.
He did for a
He
second.
didn't.
He did.
It doesn't make any sense because the resurrection stone doesn't actually resurrect him. He dropped that. That's just to see his ghost.
Yeah, no, the resurrection. None of the Hallows actually do anything
So
for him.
if he did in fact flatline, what brought him back?
He chose to come back.
Choice?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, why
Dumbledore
would I
says.
wish Sirius would choose to come back? He's cool. You know what I'm
For
saying?
real.
It'd be a different movie if Harry's like, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah,
I don't want to come back.
I think
I'm going to hop on that train.
he has this like, there's a trope nowadays when people look at this story, it's like Harry's kind of sucks. Like everything cool happens to him. He's very main character-y, right?
Yeah.
Which is what you love so much as a kid because you wish that was you. But I'm just saying like if he had in fact had to sacrifice himself completely, I just think it would be a really powerful story, And then Neville or for instance somebody like that kills Voldemort. I just think it'd be neat. That's all. That's my hot take.
It'd be real sad.
I was thinking about it today.
Yeah.
I would trade Harry for Tonks in a heartbeat.
I don't disagree with you.
I mean, yeah, we all
I'm tired of Hufflepuffs getting killed on screen, or at least not on screen, but killed in these movies.
Yeah, they're never on screen. No.
Well, we've
do we
got-
have any questions from
we
the
do.
Discord members?
We have questions that were written in from the Discord. First one comes in from Mando Jen. She writes, how do you feel about the difference in the ending of the movie versus the book? In the book, there is no destructive dueling between Harry and Voldy. Harry handles the whole thing calmly and confidently, much like Dumbledore would, even calling him Tom. I think it's far more powerful than destroying half the castle.
Yeah. The end battle with Voldemort was more of a conversation than it was a fight. And it makes for better reading, but not great visually. So like, I have no problem with
I
that.
really want to read
Harry,
these
take a
books again.
Should.
I'm fascinated by what I might think.
They're great.
Harry, take a seat.
That's good to say.
What are your thoughts on Israel and Palestine?
Let's not go there.
Next one comes in from Heather Joe. Heather Joe has 3 things, you guys. Number 1,
Answer me these questions.
saddest
3.
death.
What is the saddest death?
Saddest death, number 1.
Well, he already said Tonks.
For me, and this, I think it's Tonks. Andy said Fred.
Yes. In this movie, yes.
The Snape death makes me cry all the time.
Ooh, Snape's a good one.
Just because it's there's a lot of complicated feelings in that.
Yeah.
I think they do that well. Whereas the other 2, you don't see them. Number 2, the last film takes place in 1997. Do you think that current Muggle-born students take their cell phones to Hogwarts and make TikToks?
No,
Ooh.
because Hogwarts is too magical and electronics don't work there. We know that because Harry suggested using a microphone to spy on somebody in the 4th book, and Hermione said it wouldn't work. So no.
Because she's a fellow muggle.
Yes. She would know.
But what if you wanted some help posting a fire TikTok and you're at Hogwarts and you deserved that help?
I imagine what's more curious is, do they have their own like version of social media that's like, and like the newspapers have fallen out of style, and now what? They have something.
There has to be something,
Right.
for sure. That's what I want. I want more books.
And
Like and subscribe.
Number 3, Heather Jo's last question. I'll just say it. Oh, it's not a question. It's a statement. I'll just say it. Percy should have died instead of Fred.
100%.
1,000%.
Wow.
Yes.
Heather's out
Don't
for blood.
overpercent me.
1,001%.
Steve should have came in hot. 2,000%.
2,001%. Our last question comes in from Rabbit Dog in a Barbie car. They write, what kind of insane simulated heaven would let the weird, slimy Voldemort fetus in? Was it meant to represent the piece of Voldemort's soul that was the Horcrux? And
Yes.
if this place pre-simulated heaven, why was that allowed there? Also, why was it randomly under a bench? It seems like an odd directional choice. I have always felt it was unnecessary. Thoughts?
So that's not heaven. That is a piece of Harry's mind. And it's in there because the Horcrux was in Harry's mind. That was the whole problem. And it's sad and pathetic and scary because it takes the scariness away from Voldemort. Like, he's actually a pathetic, power-hungry bastard, and this is what he did to himself. Look, it's hideous. Ew, don't touch it. Come over here. Let's walk.
It's under a bench.
Yeah, so that's thematically actually really cool. King's Cross Station is what it is because that's what Harry envisions it to be.
Well, that
It's a
King's
very
Cross
special place to him.
King's Cross was the like stepping off point to a new life for him, literally and metaphorically. So stepping off point to the afterlife makes sense. As for it being under
That's
the
platform 9 3/4 on his way to heaven, baby.
bench, platform 10.
That's just 10.
As for it being under a bench, I don't know. I don't understand. I love it visually, like it's a cool pan shot, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have
Yeah,
nothing.
baby.
You guys really nailed it.
What do you guys think?
I agree.
I'm with it.
Because they can sit over them.
Do you think
Yeah.
do you
Far
think he's
on.
under the bench waiting for his train to ride so he can go to the next stop?
Or maybe
Hold me closer, tiny Voldemort. I don't know.
All right. So those are the last of the questions. Are you guys ready to finish up?
Reread the black card.
Okay. So let's end this the series right. We're gonna do some Cards Against Potter. If you guys don't remember what the black card that we drew was, it was Professor Trelawney found blank in my teacup. Chris, what did Professor Trelawney find in your teacup?
Having a worse love life than Winky the house elf. It's the only one that makes grammatical sense. Don't pity laugh.
Andy, what about you?
Professor Trelawney found wizard feminists in her teacup.
Ooh. Oh, I could have said she found Peter Pettigrew's leftover finger in my teacup.
Ew, that'd have been a good one.
That'd have been a better one.
That'd have been a good one. Professor Trelawney found Sirius bringing sexy back in my teacup.
Hell yeah.
Okay, winner.
I'll be hanging out with Steve in the future.
All right.
All my cards kind of sucked, and I'm sad. But that's
The last one was raw. It was downright dirty.
Yeah, there are a couple. I've been going through these cards in my free time just kind of to see what's in there. Some of them are like, holy shit.
Oh, for
can't
sure.
wait.
That's the game, baby.
Oh my God.
which we're about to play, and it's going to be on Patreon, right?
It will be. We're running out of time just so quickly. The sand is just flowing out of that thing.
Oh, we
but
can get it.
Well, let's end
couple
it.
quick rounds.
Let's
in.
wrap it up.
I
Plug it.
appreciate all of you for listening to the show so much. Our Harry Potter episode has ended. Our whole coverage of it has ended. It's been a gas. We love you all.
So much fun.
Follow us on Twitter at streamthingpod. You can subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/streamingthings at a variety of tiers and get extra bonus episodes like us playing Cards Against Potter and reviewing things like Mad Max Fury Road, stuff like that. So that's fun times. Patreon polls. We love you all. Check out the YouTube if you want to see video of us doing this exact same show. We prefer you listen to both. However, if you're going to do that for the numbers, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Nobody laughed. It made it sound weird.
I mean, do it anyway. Put it on repeat.
I'm not joking.
Rate and review the show wherever you're listening to help us out a ton. I love you all. Have a great night. That's all the time we have for right now. My name is Chris.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things.
Come to die.
Happy streaming. This month, we got some new patrons to thank. We are so thankful, so grateful to all of you who throw your hard-earned monies our way. Monies. We got the new Try Before You Deny producers, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez and Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car. That is actually their Christian name.
I can't imagine does that fit on a library card?
Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car. Yes, because in a Barbie Car is put as a last name. So
Okay, what's the middle initial? I thought N was the middle initial.
No, you're
I thought
right.
it was like Rabbit Dog N.
I don't think in that part of the world wherein Rabbit Dog hails, there is a middle
They're on
name.
Mountain Time.
Yeah, yes, for sure. In the Marty B VIP producers category, we've added Node KS, Charlie Friday. That's not real. It might be. That's awesome. You were named after a secret agent, and I love it. Heather Joe, Sheila Huff. I'm so sorry in advance. I'm going to try my best. Niame McDyer and Micah Tybee. Micah Tybee?
I was reading that one before. And I
Ethan Gregory.
I got that one.
Casey McNatt, Nicole Herring, and Daisy JT. And in the chocolate pudding producers, we've added Meddler on the Roof, love it, Lane Crawford, Christiana Saya, Blaze King, Ellie Montiranta, Randy F., Carrie Gerard, Tyler Sowers, Cadet, Alyssa Anderson, Sabra Watkins, Jade Spade Marmalade, and Naris Martinez. And in the Friends Don't Lie producers, we've added Mike and Sheila. And I, again, apologize to anyone whose name I did not pronounce correctly. I did my best. My heart was in it.
I feel like you.
Mike's going to be like, it's McKay.
It could be. It could be. Thank you all so much. We love you.
Boing.